No, I had it plugged in.
Stop yelling. We're live.
You'd think I'd
Why
yell.
are you running? Why are you yelling?
Why are you running?
Why are you yelling?
So today, we are talking about jobs.
Today is gonna be the day that we talk about some fucking jobs.
About you now.
Now I said a brown cow.
Hey, it's the guy who
Are we
almost came
live?
on. Yeah, we've been live.
Fucking
This whole
I
time.
hate you so much.
So-
Last 10 minutes.
Sadly,
Not.
the lovely lady and the nice, kind gentleman that were supposed to come on, unfortunately could not make it. That was going to be Kelly Zempel and Jim James Lorigan, whatever he wants
Jim
to go
James.
by. Jim James
Good old
Lorigan.
James James.
And we wish them luck in the future with their future endeavors. Hopefully, maybe one day they will come on. I'm talking like they're dead, but they're just fine. Anyways, the reason that Jim could not make it was his commitment to volleyball that he forgot about. And the reason Kelly couldn't make it was because a bartender at her place of employment where she manages at, Sweet and Salty Pig in Fond du Lac, check it out. Somebody called in sick or just called in, and she needed to cover that shift. So we were talking about that before we went on air, and my partner here, Nathaniel, I'm going to call you Nate. Is that cool? Nate. And we're going to... You would? Just kidding.
Well,
We're buddies. You're sitting across from me, so that means we're colleagues. And we will go out. He said, he gave a little comment that said she's a proper manager in the way that she actually comes through for her employees when needed. And since I've never worked the food industry, I've worked McDonald's. I've never worked the service industry, I guess I'll say.
So not food.
I'd call it B food, barely food. And I've never had to do that. I've never had a manager come in to cover a regular employee. So, my associate, we'll go with what you were trying to say about that.
I mean,
Start us off.
isn't that kind of one of the expected job
A
responsibilities?
little closer.
Wouldn't you say that's one of the expected job responsibilities of a manager is to cover shifts of your employees that call in?
To fill shifts, I think. I don't know about maybe if they're on different levels, like the employee and then manager, like Kelly's the manager, she's covering for an employee. Yes, I feel like the manager should be able to do all the responsibilities of an employee, but to cover it, maybe, I'm not sure. Fill, yes, like find a replacement.
Right.
But for her to have to come in herself, I'm not so sure.
I mean, not as like the first answer to somebody calling in. Not the manager to be like, all right, well, I guess I'm covering this now. It's usually like if they can't find another employee replacement, usually then it's up to the manager then to cover that spot until another replacement can be found or, whatever, until the shift is over.
If a replacement can be found.
At my place of work, for quite a long time, neither of my managers would cover shifts. They would force somebody by the end of the line to come in. Even though they were able to do so, they would never do it.
What do you do now?
I do security up in Appleton at the airport.
TSA?
No. No, TSA is a separate company.
What are you, a cop?
I work for Gulfstream, which is essentially, there's a specific brand of jet planes called Gulfstream, and they're like the really high-end stuff. So we have football teams come in, and the hangar that I work at specifically is the government hangar. So I work with the U.S. military, the Japanese Coast Guard, and the Swedish military with their
Jesus.
aircraft when they come in.
You know, those Japanese ocean waters around Fond du Lac and
Their
Oshkosh
planes are
and
atrocious
Appleton.
when they come in because they have to fly over the ocean so much. They get corroded so much. Their planes in here like every
My God.
2 or 3 months they have to come in for repairs. It's pretty bad.
Ugh. That must get expensive.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you have enough money to buy a $65 million jet, you have enough money to fix said jet.
I wonder if I would just trash the thing and get a new one.
Well, some companies can. I mean, if it's
Yeah.
the government, they have money up the butt, and we already paid for it. So
Up the butt.
yeah.
Well, I think it's a mark of a good manager to do that. I mean, like I said, I haven't worked in the industry before. my manager, the place that I work at, I don't want to say where I work at since I'm so controversial and such a cowboy. But I'm going to say
Brokeback Mountain.
that kind of cowboy. I'm going to say if somebody just doesn't show up, somebody just doesn't show up, and that position is left empty the whole time. What about you, Beej?
Hey,
Beej, what do you do?
I work in construction. Well, not technically construction. I work in excavation, which even is like broader than that. But I pretty much we do everything. But general, what's going on here?
So you work in? Do you said you do Monster Kyle stuff all day? You like knock out drywall?
That was one day where I was tearing down a building and I got to take a lot of drywall down. So I was
You got to live out your Kyle
fucking
fantasy.
breaking some drywall, man.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna pop on the shades just because BJ's got it. Somebody gives my other partner some shades, please.
What are you talking about?
I actually.
Can we get some shades in here,
I have
please?
glasses on already.
Yeah, but like, you want it so that you don't know. Like, you want to have that paparazzi look. Like, you can't see his eyebrows. That's the best kind of sunglasses when you can't see the eyebrows. I don't know why, but it's funny.
Which sucks because my eyebrows are my best feature.
For my job, it's important
mine
to
too.
be able to see everything clearly.
Your eyebrows
At all
convey
times.
a lot of emotion in your face. So when it takes it away, it's funny.
I don't have emotion.
One time when we broke up, my ex said that it looked like my two eyebrows were two caterpillars trying to kiss in the middle.
Damn.
So, yeah, what a jerk, right? That guy was a jerk. So, anyways, Caleb, what do you do?
I work at Mercury Marine.
Well,
Ooh, you just said it.
He dropped a name.
Damn.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mercury. Okay, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Please don't.
Why not?
Please don't. Yeah, there's my eyebrows, everybody, if you ever wanted to fucking see what that.
It's not on stream yet. It kind of looks like a mustache.
Yeah, fuck people who have handlebar mustaches, by the way. And I know I can say that safely because nobody here, I don't have anybody on the
Mine
stream
ain't
watching
there
it.
yet.
I know mine are almost
I'm
there.
not afraid to say where I work because I like working there a lot.
I love working where I work too. I think all four of us do. But I mean, if somebody if I say anything negative about my work, then it might come back.
Well, not even anything negative. If you say where you work and then you say something stupid, people will be like, I'm going to tell that.
Oh, dude, for sure.
Which sometimes is okay, but sometimes people go overboard and freak out about shit.
Like whistleblowers. I mean, there's a difference between whistleblowing and sand snaking.
Yeah, like if you're out here like fucking saying death to all the Jews and shit, then your employer should be like, hey, yo, you're kind of giving us a bad name.
Make sure you
You
edit
should
that out.
stop. I'm not editing out. I never edit out.
You're not going to edit this at all because we're going to do this in one shot.
Okay. I did not edit last week's episode to take out a bad joke I made. That was very offensive.
Can we leave the Jews out of this episode, please?
Wow, that's kind of
Wow. So
Selective.
yeah, now you're just discriminating against them. They can't take place.
So, Caleb, you enjoy your
And
job.
that's why I don't
That's
say where I
awesome.
work.
Yeah.
I'm glad you do too. I do too.
Yeah, nice.
Would you agree that since we're kind of in the same line of work ish, that a lot of people say to me, "How can you do the monotony of the repetition of the same shit every day?" Part of me actually looks forward to going into that because in a way, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, I can kind of turn my brain off a little bit
Exactly.
and kind of I can use work to relax. And I don't think there's a lot of people out there, a small minority of them, can say, I can use my job to relax.
Yeah, it's just like kind of a nice consistency where I know I don't have any real responsibility other than my like when you have to worry about like one specific thing for 8 hours, it's like once you get that down, it doesn't really nothing else matters.
Yeah, there's no surprises.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Like all you have to do is like I'm kind of my own quality control, so I just have to make sure my shit's good, and that's the only thing I really care about for 8 hours, and yeah. Like, I just get to listen to music and do whatever I want.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, I count us both very lucky. And, I mean, I think we're four intelligent men that if we were in a position where we weren't happy with our jobs, I feel like we're all smart enough to do, okay, let's assess the situation. And if I'm not happy, I can go off and do like something else. I can go find something else. I feel like so much of that these days, like so many people, and it's been like that, I think, since really the start of time, where people are just so, like the security of a job where you're getting all your health benefits and shit, it's so hard to just one day, it's like, I hate my job. I'm going to get up and walk out. And I mean, maybe you could do that at 16 or 17, but like at almost 30, we can't do that anymore, you know?
Well,
But if you're so unhappy to the point where you hate going in every day, but you're only doing it because you kind of have to, that's
I hate-
shitty.
See, here's the thing about me. I don't really like my job. But when I
Right.
didn't work my job, I missed my job.
Interesting. Can you
Like,
elaborate?
I don't like doing what I do, but I like the result of what I do.
You get a sense of
Because
satisfaction.
I get a
from
very
the finished
like,
product.
yeah, exactly. I was talking about this when I still worked at. Now I can say where I used to work, Spectrum, the cable company. I was talking to some when I was told them I was leaving. I was like, I don't have. As like weird as it is to say and like kind of corny, it's like I don't have any pride in my work here. Like I don't make anything. I don't do anything.
Yeah.
Like I know when Caleb said where he works, so who cares? When we're at Wally Weekend, you're like, I probably made that fucking engine, and that's like a cool thing. And like I can drive down a bunch of streets and finally I can be like, I made that. Made that wall. I made that driveway. I made, I moved that garage. I did this and I did that. And it's like that. There's not a lot of jobs where you can get that, and that's something I missed.
That's awesome. I like that.
So
like,
why can't people with art degrees say that?
They can.
They can.
if they can find a job.
Because they can find a job.
Unfortunately, my
Bam, bam,
Pam.
bam, bam.
My ex unfortunately never found a job in her career field. Feel very well. I don't really feel bad for her, but
What-
at the same time, I
what was
kind of
that
What's her
field?
degree?
graphic design.
Damn, it's hard to not get a job in that.
To
honestly.
not get a job?
Yeah,
Yeah,
freelancing,
dude,
get jobs all over the
everybody-
place.
yeah.
Can you do me a favor? Can you look up like
Don't-
careers available
I
right
thought
now?
you were gonna say her name.
No, Jesus, no! Don't do that.
So,
you just
like,
look
for what?
like see if there's any available within from like maybe a
Graphic design. Okay,
30
graphic
mile
design job.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
30
Message your
mile
ex
radius.
and be like, "Hey, yo, I found you a job."
No, I can't. She blocked me.
I know
Been
that. I
a
know that
long,
feeling.
lonely December. So
There's
now, would you guys say that this job that you have right now? Wait, let's get your input. Do you get satisfaction out of your job? I don't think you would do it unless you did, though. You seem like a guy that would, like, if you weren't enjoying your job, you would do something about that.
I mean, I've been in security for like 8 years now, so I'm used to the stuff that you have to do for it, and I'm just comfortable doing it. And I like interacting with the different people from different countries I wouldn't normally get to talk to. But if I was sitting anywhere else on site doing the same job, I probably would not still want to be there. Like, that's really the only thing keeping me there, because the pay, people in security don't get paid very well for all the responsibilities that they're accountable for.
You were
And
taking a bullet.
it's not that kind of security. That kind of security pays well.
we actually have to pay to do our job as well. Every 2 years, you have to pay $200 out of pocket to continue
Union?
renewing your license.
No, yeah, you have to get a
License.
license.
You have to get a private
Oh,
security
really
license
dumb.
in order to get employed in the industry.
Damn.
Yeah.
Dude, even things like that are like workers get fucked the most out of anybody. Like you have to pay your own license. That's like bartenders; they have to pay their own bartender's license and shit.
Some places
if you
reimburse, but not many.
for a lot, I don't know how it is in like factories and stuff, but if
BJ,
like and
I
what
want you to do one thing for me and just move that mic down because it's covering your face.
I don't
It's
like
covering that.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep people watching, not make them run
No. Oh,
away
there
in
you go. That's
fucking
good.
fear.
Continue.
Like if you're, let's say an OSHA inspector shows up at like my job site and is like, "Hey, you're not wearing a harness," I pay that fine.
Yeah.
That fucking sucks. Like, man, they're just out to get our money, man. I'm sure it's probably the same with you guys. Like if you went crawling under something in the fucking place that you work.
I cannot comment on that.
What I can say
I
is
can't.
I will not have to pay any fines. I don't have to pay basically anything because I'm part of the union.
Even OSHA violation fines.
Pretty much, yeah.
And those are fucking see in my industry, those are steep.
Well,
like if I
We're not going to get any. I wouldn't get anything OSHA related in our area really because it's a super clean area. And
Well, I'm
yeah, but
sure.
it's workplace safety. I mean, like if there's like a guardrail off of a piece of equipment or fucking the floor isn't painted the right shade of whatever.
Right.
They're
Doesn't
gonna
the
fucking
business
fine your
itself
ass.
have to pay those violations
things like
and not
that.
the workers?
Should, yeah.
Workplace pays that.
Is that not
things
how
like-
it works?
For certain things.
No, I
But if
agree.
you, so let's say I'm like saw cutting some concrete or something.
And like when I worked at Pick and Save, it's not like I had to fucking pay OSHA when they came in and inspected like our cooler or our pre-cut room, and they're like,
Well,
"Oh,
would that
this,
be-
and this is wrong."
Isn't that the USDA or US?
Oh, never mind, that's not OSHA. It's Ecolab.
Yeah, OSHA's Occupational
That's right.
Safety and Health
Yeah.
Administration.
I always forget it's different.
Yeah, there's
Ecolab's a
so
private.
many.
Ecolab's actually a private company. Did you guys know that? That
None of it.
places hire. It's not like a required thing. Don't look at me like that.
They probably hire them to come in and make sure they're compliant for everybody else.
Pretty much. I guess it's cheaper to pay Ecolab to come
Yeah.
inspect you than to have to pay the OSHA
The
fees.
fines.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like if let's say I was like saw cutting concrete and I made too much dust, your first fine is $12,000.
the fuck? First.
First
Does
fine.
it go up after that?
The second fine I think is like 50,000.
Whoa! It more than triples.
It gets fucking insane.
Quadruples. Jesus.
Like when I worked at I used to work at a precast concrete place too, and it was like they would tell us all the time, like, if you get fucking busted for this is how much fine is. And it's like you can get, and the thing is they will nail you on as many things. We actually had OSHA show up on one of our jobs last week. I wasn't there, my brother was. I'm sorry, some other employee was. And they didn't actually get us with anything. They're just like, get a different ladder and wear a fucking hard hat.
They just showed up randomly?
They can show up whenever the fuck they want. They don't have to tell you they're coming. They just show up and be
That's
like,
how they do
wrong,
their job
wrong,
properly.
wrong.
You don't expect them
Yeah.
to be there
That's
because
what
that's
I
when
wanna-
people are at their
I want that
their
job.
worst.
Oh my god.
You have to know a
You'd be
lot
like
of
you'd be
stuff.
like the fucking crackdown police. You just show up and just be like,
You're like the most hated man. Which
that
makes
or safety guys are the most hated people.
I never got that. Like, it's like when people complain about unions or OSHA or safety guys. It's like, but they're the ones who are looking out for us.
Yeah.
Like, they're the anti-boss. They're making sure that the boss doesn't take advantage of us. Like, why do you hate them as a worker when they're here to make sure we don't get fucked
You
over?
should hate yourself for making the mistake that you
Yeah.
should have known not to do.
And in case you didn't know, legally, if your boss ever tells you to do something unsafe, they cannot fire you for saying no.
I'll have to remember that. But my boss is really cool. He wouldn't do that.
Fuck your boss.
We got how many jobs did you find in the immediate area?
Over 100. But I would say about 50 to 75 of those would be like someone out of college could probably
Plus-
get into.
Out of?
Yeah.
Like you said out of college?
Yeah,
with the
people
degree?
people that just
The
came out of
majority
degree,
are
yeah.
walk-in jobs with that degree, right?
Oh, like
Well, no, like they were like
entry level.
like the graphic design artist for like a company or something. But I think
yeah.
a lot of those could just be right out of school.
But
I mean, but here's the thing with
simple
that degree.
simple stuff.
And I know a lot of people in that industry, and it's like they say a lot of the times, fucking college doesn't matter. Your portfolio matters. Like, you can go into a fucking design place and be like, yeah, I
Well,
got
that depends. It depends if that's like a design place. Not like all the jobs I was looking at was like shipping label design.
oh yeah,
you know, shit like
yeah.
that.
I'm saying
Like
like
you're the designer,
Yeah, if you're gonna
yeah.
be, but I mean like if you're designing logos or
Oh yeah,
or
that's a
spreadsheet-
whole different animal. I think,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
But that like that kind of stuff, it's like you go in and you go, yeah, here's my resume. They'll be like, I don't fucking care. Show me what you can make.
Yeah, let's see it.
Yeah.
Draw something right now.
Trust. It's like on Inception where you just solve this maze.
Oh yeah.
You have 30 seconds to solve this maze. It says, I'm gonna give you a pen that has no ink and a sheet of paper, and it says you can use anything in this office. By the way, my pants are undone. We got a bunch of comments that were
Yeah, man.
Do you want to read through them?
Yeah, I can read through some of these.
do.
Charlie actually chimed in first and said Mitch can go around to cars with sunroofs and say, I made that. So you can indeed go around and do that.
Huh.
And then when we were talking about Spectrum, Alex, BJ's roommate, actually, had a comment here. And would you like to read that, or would you like me to read it?
Go ahead, man.
all right. He said he did a different job at Spectrum than BJ, but he felt similarly. Talking to customers on the phone doesn't do anything at the end of the day, and most of the time you're not even helping the customer, but trying to sugarcoat why their bill just went up, for example.
That's what I used to do when I worked
Yep,
there.
Nate also worked there.
You did?
Our friend Jake also worked there.
over
for a
8
while.
years ago?
Yeah,
yeah, you said you didn't-
2013 actually
Oh,
was when I
shit.
worked there. I was the last training class that did not get trained on how to do the telephone portion of their
Telecoms.
services. So I would upsell people when they called in saying I'm paying too much money. I would upsell them on getting phone service, and then I'd have to transfer them to somebody else to get the commission. I
But
would
you'd
not get
still-
any of it.
Oh, you wouldn't get any of it.
No, because
Oh.
I couldn't install it through the programs. We weren't trained to do it. We would have to send them to a more seasoned person in our call center in order to install the phone service, and then they would get the commission
Their
after
program
I
is
sold them
garbage.
on it. Yeah.
What's the let's go round robin and say the worst job you've ever had.
Well, I was gonna say before we do that, how many jobs have we all had?
Oh.
That's a fun one. I
Sure,
think.
sure.
I know.
Let's just list them off, except
Yeah.
for your
No,
current.
I
Except
was
for
just
your
gonna
current one.
Yeah, we can just do that. Yeah.
I'll go fast, really quick.
Gotta go fast.
Starting, I landscaped. Will not name the place. A&W, McDonald's, Hot Topic.
I don't know why it's so funny, but
I just can't see it.
Well, fun fact, I had a name tag there, of course, and it said Mitch for a little bit, but then they made me one that said Norm, because I was normal. I was the only normal one there.
wow.
So I had no tats and no
Hostile
piercings.
work environment.
You're right. Yeah, I was a disgruntled worker. What was I going to do, though? I was going to, like, cry in the corner.
Then you would have been like them.
I'll admit, like,
Posture like
it was really
the jock
fun
they
selling.
thought you were.
The jock?
Posture like the jock that they thought you
Oh,
were. And
I-
make them submit.
I did notice I made the most eye contact out of everybody there,
Yeah,
though.
exactly.
So, and I didn't bite my sleeve when I talked to people.
So what do
either.
you what do you do? You just revel in the fact that you can have normal human conversation and interaction.
I don't meow when people come around corners and stare at me.
Hiss it, dude. Yeah, there were. I heard somebody hiss there once. Not an employee, but
my
like,
God.
like when the high school kids would come in after work after school. Like, fuck off, dude.
Are you sure
got
they
that.
weren't roaring?
That was like, well, roaring was like 2008ish, 6-7ish.
I don't
so this
think
was
that ever ends.
2014.
There's always
it
kids of the
evolves
same
something.
age.
Yeah, but it evolves into something else. It evolved into the
It evolves
hissing.
into
It evolves
yeet.
into hurting,
Oh, jeez, dude.
slicing
Who the-
noises.
Who they were cooking on some cooking show the other day, and someone
Breaking
made the
Bad?
joke. No, it was an actual cooking show, and he said, "Man, dude, he cuts better than a middle age or he cuts better than a middle schooler."
Oh my god.
Wow. Dang, what channel was this on?
This is on All Things.
YouTube.
It was All Things Comedy,
Oh,
and it's
okay.
called Something's Burning.
All right. It's not a
And-
real cooking show.
Okay.
It is. It's sort of.
I thought you meant like
so
fucking
Hot
Top
Topic.
Chef.
No,
Yeah, I thought something on Food Network. I was like, damn.
nope.
Paula Dean's at it again.
They wouldn't fucking they wouldn't say that. I didn't even think Gordon would say that. He goes, "God, you cut like my fucking son
Jesus. His son comes
across the wrist."
Oh my god.
If you want it to be
fucking raw.
effective, you go down.
Well, yeah, but
cross.
that's when you're done. Like
That's
done,
when you
done,
actually mean it.
Dunzo, yeah. And then you look. This is for attention. This is for the grave.
Yep.
What's Charlie got to say? The roaring 20s are coming. By the way, fuck everybody that thinks that they're going to bring back swing dance and shit, because, bitch, swing never left. I worked at Hot
What do you have
Topic.
against Fall Out Boy?
I like Fall Out Boy. I worked at Spalding Clinical, which actually tested drugs on humans. So that was kind of awesome. And then I worked at
Oh, I should have worked there.
you still can. I worked at Northern Telephone and Data in Oshkosh, which installed dial-up internet in 2016.
was that where you worked? Was that where you worked IT?
Yeah, the West Bend one, the Oshkosh thing, and then I did one more IT. I did at
Well, I thought you said
Appleton.
you were an installer.
yeah, I installed the internet.
But then you just said you were an IT guy.
I did the IT at the place, and then when the phones were slow, I went out on installs. Like it was like a call center pretty much, and I had to I used my degree to get the job, if that makes sense. And then I worked at
Reed Vandesland says, tell the story about you returning to Hot Topic, you emo. It's a lot. Or wait.
returning to Hot Topic.
Yeah.
Like
Says returning.
when I went back.
Tell the story about you returning to Hot Topic, you emo. Direct quote.
I'm never going back there. It's closed. I can't.
Alex, I wasn't aware of the cancellations until I got here.
I worked at one last one. It's in Appleton, the biggest building in Appleton.
That big glass building.
Yeah. What the fuck was it? I can't think of it.
Plexus?
No, it's no. Term life insurance. No, it's something else.
Terminal life insurance.
Damn it, I can't think of it. It's like the biggest building in Appleton.
You don't know where you worked.
I only worked there for like a month.
Are you talking about the Forest Mall?
No, that's not in Appleton.
Or no, whatever that
Fox
mall
River
is.
Mall?
Yeah.
No. It's bigger than
It's at
that.
Forest Mall.
It's.
Um,
Hey, you look at my dick.
No, you were stroking a fake cock there with your.
All this with 3 fingers. God damn it! Thrivent Financial. I worked at Thrivent Financial, and then I went back to RB Royal. Oh, I forgot to mention I worked there earlier, and then now I'm at my place now. So I had 9 or 10 jobs.
well, you're going back to Hot Topic now.
Thrivent. Thank you, Grandma.
That's your grandma?
Yes.
BJ. Hey, BJ. You're up next.
Oh God.
Clockwise.
After
What
high
are the
school,
places you've worked?
I mean, I've worked on. Fuck, this is hard. I've worked on and
Start at
off.
the
Hands
beginning.
above the table.
For
Start at the beginning.
I've worked on and off for many years. I started working when I was like fucking 8 years old for construction.
Were you being paid well?
And I was mostly not being paid at all. For a family-owned construction company whose name I will not mention. And then I went to, and then high school, out of high school, I worked, my first job somewhere else was Menards. I worked there for like 3 months as a morning stocker. I worked at like 5 in the morning, stocking all the shelves.
4 to 9.
Yeah, it might have been 4 to 9, something like that. It sucked. Then I quit there to go work at Quad, which is, for those who don't know, a printing factory where they print all the Playboy magazines and all the fucking Uline, pretty much every magazine. People would take some Playboys every once in a while. Nothing wrong with that. The rejected ones, not ones that were supposed to go to customers, like ones that had like bad like bindings or stuff like that. After that, I worked at, I quit there. I was unemployed for a while. I went and got a job up in Oshkosh at a call center, which did political fundraising.
Oh boy.
For the Republicans.
Ooh.
During the Obama election.
Whoa.
I worked there for 2 years.
Whoa.
And I heard the N-word a lot.
So you like
damn.
the bad side, huh? Bad side of people.
So going in, I don't want to get political on this one, but going into there, I was a conservative. Coming out of there, I was a liberal. So
Damn.
having to talk to them every day helped change my mind. And then after that, I went back to work in construction. Worked there for a while. Ended up quitting that, going to work at Menards, at a precast concrete place, making like septic tanks and manholes and shit like that. Pretty much anything you can make in a factory out of concrete. Then I technically was working there as a temp worker through a temp agency that Gabby actually hooked me up with, because she worked there at the time. And then my time there ended. I went to a place for a day, and they wanted to send me to Minnesota for 2 weeks. I'm like,
What place was that?
yo, I quit. A place, I'll tell you after. It wasn't their fault. Like, I agreed to it, and then I'm like, I don't want to fucking go to Minnesota for 2 weeks. I had a girlfriend at the time, and I was like, I don't want to fucking leave for 2 weeks and blah, blah, blah. So I ended up just saying, like, I quit. And then I went and worked at Target, because of my girlfriend at the time, for a couple of months while I was laid off in the winter, because in construction you get laid off in the winter and it kind of sucks. And then I went back to the concrete place because they called me up and said, hey, do you want a job again? I was like, fuck yeah, I do. And then I ended up applying. I was getting kind of sick of that place, so I went, and this is really boring, I'm sorry. I got sick of that place, and then I applied at Spectrum. They called me and said, do you want to start like Monday? And so I just stopped showing up at the concrete place. I actually left a note, and I was like, hey, next Friday is going to be my last week. And then I went home and then just didn't go back.
Nice.
And I worked at Spectrum for almost a year and got fed up with management Came in one day, worked out that, secured another job first, went in one day, said today's my last day, and then wrote a very lengthy email about why people there suck. And then I've been working in construction for a couple months now, back in where I used to work. So
Mm-hmm. Are you happy?
Exciting stuff.
I've had a history. I've worked a lot of different types of jobs.
Sense of theme and it's
Damn,
construction.
if I had known that we were gonna talk about like epic, I was gonna say that for the next thing, like if you have an epic quitting story.
Oh,
Well, but we'll finish. With
oh,
the
I can
topic.
give you an.
No.
I have a good one for you
Later.
for when that comes up.
Yes, we got to get through this. We got to give each one their time. You,
All right.
please.
The job that I have now is actually the job I've been at the longest. Every other job I've only been at for about a year or less, which isn't necessarily bad. It's just I usually find something better. I started off at a family pizza place owned by my family and only lasted for about a year. And that was freshman year of high school? I
No,
think.
that
it
was
sophomore?
our junior going into senior year.
Was it junior? Okay.
Yeah, that was also my first job as well.
Because I thought I was like 14 when I started.
No,
Oh no, I suppose I was.
We could all
I was,
drive.
I had my first girlfriend when we started.
we could all
that.
drive.
Yeah, because we could all
Yeah.
drive because you brought pizza out to Nick's house when he had that big show at his barn.
Yeah, because Nick used to work.
And then I did that bass flip, and the bass strap broke, and my bass went flying.
Like you spun it.
Yep.
Flying down a
Strap
hill,
locks?
didn't it? Fuck no.
Couldn't afford those.
Not at the time. No, I did actually have strap locks.
And they broke.
One of them broke.
Sue the company.
When I saw Boston Manor this weekend, he broke it 2 minutes into the first song, and Rhodey came out and fucking duct taped it to
Excuse
the
me, you
guitar.
interrupted your guest. Please let him finish.
That's fine.
You right?
Segways.
Nah.
Yeah, so started in
Can't afford one.
semi-fast food with pizza, and that's an interesting way to start because you see every sort of type of person going through there, especially on Super Bowl day.
Oh my god. It's a great.
So I started with that. For the summer, for about a month, I worked at the UPS store here in town. I learned a lot
remember
about
that.
shady business practices from there. I worked at the college at UW Fond du Lac. I did maintenance during the college because that was part of my work program. Like they would pay me money out of some grant that I got if I worked at the college for something. So I did maintenance there. I worked at Menards as well for a morning stalker. I moved to Florida and I worked at Buffalo Wild Wings for 9 months. And it's hard to go back there, pay full price for things when you got everything half off.
Oh God.
That was probably the most difficult job I've ever had, honestly.
Really?
Was working Buffalo Wild Wings.
That was gonna be. I'm really sorry. I mean, I didn't cut you off, but
Yeah.
like difficulty of job, like that was one of the things that I had
Yeah,
on here.
we can go
like
back
categories.
to it. I don't need to talk about it right now.
Yeah.
Please don't bring it up now.
Yeah. And once I moved back here from Florida is when I kind of started getting into the security stuff. Because I worked at Marion University for about a year doing security there, and that was interesting. And I've kind of been hopping back and forth between all the different security jobs that are between Appleton and Fond du Lac around here. And
All at the same company though, right?
there's two different companies.
Oh, you went back and forth.
In Fond du Lac, the primary security company is
Permar,
Permar.
yeah.
Yep, Permar Security, and they extend up to Oshkosh. And then
so
Appleton
that's
has
Securitas.
Appleton has Securitas, and that's an international security company. And Permar is a U.S. company.
When you're done, I have a question for you.
Okay. And yeah, I've worked at a bunch of various different things, and it's really interesting. Most people think security is just sitting behind a desk. Different companies will have you do all the odd jobs that they don't want to pay their own people to do. Mm-hmm. Like I used to work security for a place called Appleton Coated, which is a factory that produced paper products and stuff like that. And they would have me do 2.5-mile treks around the entire facility with a little wand, scanning these little magnets on the wall to show where I was on my patrol routes, and I'd had to do that 3 times a shift. So I'd walk 7.5 miles every shift in the dead of summer, where it's 100 degrees outside, and then you go inside and it's 100 degrees, and then you're going down into the boiler rooms, which are 110 degrees. So that was fun. I lost a little bit of weight there. Luckily, got it back. And yeah, now I'm with all the different odds and ends, now I'm back here at Appleton doing the security there.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
You work security at Marion?
sure did.
What year was this?
Damn, when was that?
When did you go to school there?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Like,
My father worked security there, though.
Who was your dad?
Dale Shear.
Dale.
Dale Shear.
That sounds really
Dangerous
familiar. I'm more of a face guy, so if you have a picture of him somehow.
It's me with blonde hair. And straight, yeah, with blue eyes. Actually doesn't look like me at all.
Oh, well, I mean, if you pull up a picture, I'm sure I might be able to know. I worked there, I want to say, maybe 2014, 2015.
I don't know when he was there. Like, it might have been around that time, and it might not have been. Anyways.
Yeah, that was, I've been around.
It's been around the town.
What about UC?
Well, my first job was also the same as Nate's because we were friends in high school, and he was able to kind of finagle a bunch of us to get our first jobs at
Almost the entire
the
band,
old Pizza Man.
almost the entire Minute Epidemic band worked at the pizza place.
That's pretty true. Yeah, it's me, Nick, Jake, you. Anyone else that we know worked
Jon
there?
Snow was there?
Snow worked there. I forgot he worked there. Holy shit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And Charlie.
Oh my god.
Charlie Staling?
No. This other Charlie that we know. But
He's also into music. He makes music.
yeah. But
Bit my finger.
yeah, so that was my first job, and then after that place closed down, I ended up just not doing anything for a while because I played like football that senior year, and then I ended up going. After that was done, I went and worked at Save a Lot down on actually right over here by us.
A skip and a hop from the
Yeah,
studio.
skip and a hop from the studio.
Where we at?
I really liked that actually. It was all right.
It's in my hood, man.
It's like a 9-aisle store, so it was kind of interesting. You do the whole thing with 2 people. That was pretty. I was part time for a while, and then they made me full time. They're like, "Yeah, you want to do that?" I'm like, "I guess," but it was like minimum wage even at full time, so that sucked. But that job did end up getting me the money to fund Midnight's first album, which was kind of interesting. I paid for that all out of pocket myself, and then
It's a 30-second album.
yeah, no, it was like $1,400. But
Jesus.
I know.
That's why I just do it
14.
myself.
It was 14 songs. Yeah.
That's almost $14,000.
1,000.
What was that Michael Scott quote where he says, like, that cost us $2,500? $25,000, something like that.
Anyway, that's fine. I eventually ended up quitting there because I got sick of it. Because one of the people that worked there was just really shitty, and
Your coworker? Your
No.
single coworker?
well, there was like a bunch of people that worked there, but like it was one of the night shift managers or whatever. She just wouldn't do anything. I just had to do everything. So I was like, "Fuck this."
Fucking women don't
Oh my
do
god, I'm
anything
so sorry. I
anymore.
forgot I worked at Pick and Save twice.
Oh yeah, you did. In there, sprinkled in there. He worked
Yeah.
with me for a while. But after working at Save a Lot, I was unemployed for a short time. Well, I just kind of hung out for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I got a job doing security with Securitas up in Oshkosh. I worked in Menards. I was that gate guard.
You were the
gate guardian.
You were the yard bitch.
I was the yard bitch. I hated that.
Jesus. They have names for it?
No,
That's what I call them.
but
Yard bitch.
yeah, you're in like an 8x8 glass box for
Like what you see in
10 to 12
movies.
hours a day.
A lot of them
Like
are
what
nice.
you see in movies when people drive up with a car and there's just a little guard, a little shack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a fan about this big,
You
and
lower
you're
the
reading
gate.
a book
You're
that
not-
you've...
yeah, you have to read a book because you're not allowed to have your phone out at all because they watch you on a camera like a hawk.
Yep.
But that sucked. I worked that for like 3 months, and that was it. Because that place was like, I forget how much, but you had to work overtime every single week because you had to work like
Fuck that.
a bunch of 8. You had to work like 3 8s, a 10, and a 12, or something like that every week. It sucked. And then let's see, what else did I work? After that, I was unemployed. I did live sound for DJs in Oshkosh for a while. That actually was decent money, but technically wasn't a job. I did that actually for quite a while until I actually moved out of my parents' house, and that's when I got a real job at Pick and Save.
What about your call center?
Oh yeah, I worked at BJ's call center for like a day, and then I quit.
Yeah.
So I was like, "This isn't for me."
I referred you, got you a job there. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I was just like,
And then
this
you
is-
didn't show up the next day.
I was like, well, no, I did not show up. I called the guy. I was like, it's not for me, bud.
Oh, sorry, I forgot one more thing. I worked at Applebee's here in town for a day.
Oh yeah.
One single day.
Yeah.
Damn.
Got a hat, and I'm like, wow, this is super mismanaged. I'm not working here.
Have we all worked somewhere for just one day?
A day.
Except for the
Hold on.
It's called a
no.
trial.
There was. Oh, God, I left it out earlier.
I worked at. It's fine. I make up. I've worked 2 different places for one day.
Go ahead.
So I started working at Pick and Save in like 2012. I worked there for 6 years, like legit 6 years. About halfway through that, I got passed over for a full-time position because my boss didn't think I wanted it because I was doing like so much band stuff. That's when Set Ablaze was going on all the time. So I was like, always like, yo,
Which band?
I'm
was that?
gonna be. You know what I'm talking about. You were in that one.
That one right there.
That one
What
right
band
there.
are you talking about?
That's crazy. It's like right there.
Zoom in on that shirt.
Boom. Yeah.
That band sucked ass. Their vocalist
Maybe
was
if they plugged
trash.
the bass into
There
the
is real quick. There is a picture somewhere. I'll find it someday of me doing this peace sign. It says support your local music scene, and my pants are open, like unzipped open. You can't see anything, but they're open, like full view in the picture.
Barely see anything when your pants are down. Yeah.
Oh, my grandma's watching.
But yeah, anyway, so like
Hi, Grandma.
I worked at Pick and Save, got passed over. So when I got passed over, I decided to get another job or like try and get a different job. So I started at this other place for a day. It was apartment complex maintenance. I worked there for one day, and I was just like, no, nope.
That's
not
why
for
it's
me.
clogged.
I did the
and it ain't
same
my
thing.
problem.
I did the same thing. I went up to them like, listen, this is just not for me. I'm just, yeah,
It's not the one that I'm aware of that is affiliated with your family, is it?
Yes.
yeah.
It is?
You
I
guys
The one
did
my
it
mom
better
works
than
at?
me.
Yeah, yeah.
When I did it,
I'm like, yo, can I like, because she said they were looking for someone. So I'm like, yeah, I'll go try it out. And then yeah, I was like, it's not for me.
Right.
Not outside in the sun for 8 hours trimming bushes and shit.
when I did my one day, I called the guy and said, "I'm in the hospital. I have to quit."
you lied.
I lied. I
I
told him.
can't come into work today. I'm dead.
I told him I had a severe asthma attack, fainted, hit my head on a coffee table, and was in the hospital.
What was that?
I hope it's not my boss.
What is it?
I don't know.
Yeah, what was that?
That's his phone.
It's your phone.
What is that?
I want to check it.
Let's find out. Let's take a look.
Okay, what's going on Nate's phone? Let's find out. Put it on camera.
Oh, it's just content hidden, 2 messages. Oh,
Is it the sex
Some
tape from last week?
nudies.
Because I rewatched part
Nobody's
of that
supposed to
episode.
know that I know where it is.
I rewatched that episode, and it was so funny when that part happened. I think the fucking back to back burns of
yes. Say yes.
of
Say yes.
her
Tell him.
burning
Tell
you
him.
was so fucking funny because you were obviously
man.
like
Just
hurt.
message me.
I wasn't hurt.
But at the same
taken off
time, like she was like so fucking. I don't know why, because it's usually me not getting along with people, and to see that happen to somebody else, it like felt good.
I sent
Not
her-
because it was at your expense.
I sent her a wall of texts afterwards. Don't worry.
Nuh-uh.
Who?
Oh, you're talking about me. Oh, that's funny.
That was a huge.
That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
Oh,
that's
good.
really funny.
That's good. Don't. He's gonna start. Here it goes. It's fermented in his brain.
it takes several weeks, and then it'll just overflow. You know.
Anyways.
you know what your fucking problem is?
Anyways. To
I thought you were
continue.
done. I'm really sorry.
No,
I
I'm
thought
not
you were
done yet.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry too.
Anyway, I got full time at Pick and Save, and I did that for a couple of years. I actually really liked that. I think about that job all the time, and I would go back if they would pay me more money. But I actually really liked my job because I ended up quitting there because I got fed up with how much work I had to do for not much money. Because I was basically just like, you know, another manager there without any extra money. You know, like I was relied on to do all these different things. But at the end, like towards the last year, it was like since I'm not actually a manager, I just would, you know, like leave stuff. You know, like it'd be instead of doing all the things that I would normally do, I would just be like, well, I can't get in trouble for this because I'm not responsible for it. So like I'm not going to go above and beyond to do anything, you know, special. But eventually kind of just built up enough to the point where I'm like, I'm just going to go find another job. And then that's when me and you were starting to do the podcast, and it kind of helped push me in the right direction of, hey, we could actually do a studio, so I should probably get something well-paying. And that's when I asked my dad, hey, can I go work at Merck? Or can you, like, talk to your boss and see if they are doing anything from Merck?
You should have looked at your dad and said, can you get your boy a hookup? Would he have hit you?
No.
Like, just stop it.
No.
Just a little swat across the nose.
No. Not at all.
If I would have talked to my dad that way, he would have probably just turned the TV up louder, just get away.
But yeah.
That's cool.
Now I work at Merck, and it's probably the best job. Honestly, like the best. Like not trying to like shill for it, but man, I really like that place.
He's loving it.
I love it.
There's
It's like the best. I was afraid of working in a factory, but then now that I work there, like it's the best factory environment I could
Yeah.
ever imagine. Of course, I work in like an assembly line, so like I'm assuming it's a lot better than working in like casting.
Bro.
Like, where
The
you have to pour
conditions
molten
for
metal.
working in a factory are so much better now than they used to be a couple decades ago.
Plus the fact that it's a union place, like it's incredible there.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome for my fucking tax dollars, buddy.
Talk about the
Mine too.
increase in pay coming up.
What about
them.
it? Oh yeah, well like they have this contract. I'm not going to talk about that.
Oh,
That's
well.
It's we're basically like by 2022 or 2023, I think it is. We're just going to make
We're
a
gonna pay $1 million an hour.
No,
Whatever.
basically,
$15 million.
no, it's just making a lot. You know?
It's just
like,
going to guarantee that Fond du Lac has its revenue.
pretty much like
good.
honestly, the amount of money that they're going to be making there definitely is going to be a huge boon to the community in general. Because like people having that much money to spend, holy
People
shit.
have money, they want to spend it on stuff.
yeah, like
Local businesses will flourish.
Give it to
Or
me.
they
put it
won't
this way.
because it's Fondy.
Let me put it this way.
No, Bernie.
Let me put it this way: the amount of money that we'll be making per hour, base pay starting, which I'll be obviously above that because I've worked there for the 5 years leading up to it. But like, I'll be able to get, I could get pretty much any house that I wanted. If you know what I mean, like except for like the ones
Mitt Romney's house.
I'm saying in Fond du Lac. I could go. I wouldn't be limited by looking at a budget,
Right.
basically.
There's some fucking mansions.
Yeah, not those. I don't want to pay the fucking property tax on that, but
Well, just sleep here.
Rich people paying taxes, Caleb, please.
Why don't you just fucking sleep here?
There
You
go.
don't even have to pay. You pay $300 or no, 200 to
Right.
whatever, and then just fucking crash here, and then just wake up and work.
that's the backup plan.
You could
I get laid
borrow the money, and you could borrow like $20 from like 30 friends,
Yeah.
and not give it back because it's like such a small amount of money. They're like, nah, don't worry about it.
Who the hell has 30 friends?
Yeah, no shit. Oh wait, no.
Who
I
the
know
hell is
someone.
$20?
Do you want? That was pretty good.
I'm trying to think
should probably
of
get
any
a
other
job.
jobs that I missed, like in the midst of all that.
Jesus,
I'm sure you'll
dude.
come up with them just
Still
like I've been coming up with random ones.
Yeah, I was gonna say I did a job where I did 2 days. I completely left it out. I forgot.
Nice.
Should we mention what our first... Oh, wait, we already talked
Yeah.
about what our first job
Our
was.
first?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we listed it
Oh,
all.
here's a question before we get into your already written questions, unless this is already one that you have.
Before we get into your shit
Do
questions.
you think that school, whether it be just your high school level education or even college, prepared you for the job, like just the job scene in America? Did they prepare you at all for
Yes.
what is going to be required?
Fuck
Yes.
no.
Yes.
I don't think so.
in some ways.
I'll tell you why. When I took my
Other than the fact that
Well, yeah,
most
because you
jobs
went
are
into
like
food.
well, other than the fact
No,
that most
I
jobs are like
didn't.
dealing
I
with
went-
high school students.
listen.
True.
When I took my tests, they're like, yeah, you're gonna be working with your hands a lot because you're stupid. And I'm like, what?
And now
Like,
he's a
you're gonna
fluffer
be-
in the porn industry. They were right.
Yeah, yeah. But no, really, they said that, and I'm like, what? What? And then they're like, no, it's not that bad. And if you would have told me that I would have been in factory when I was like almost 30, I'm like, no. And now
I
I
would be an
love it,
astronaut.
and I could see myself working there like as a career, because not only do they pay for schooling, like trade schooling to continue working there, like robotics engineering and all that. God damn it. There's no female fluffer. The Aurora Snow. James Dean. Anyways, so my high school, yes.
Wait, what?
Whoa.
Natalie
Scroll
Dormer.
back. Okay, well, okay.
no,
First of all,
No.
wait, you got to put this up on
Natalie
stream, on
Dormer isn't in this fucking podcast.
Scroll down
At
a
a
little
glance,
bit.
she
Scroll
looks
down
like
a little
Natalie
bit.
Dormer.
It says fluffers are no longer needed, saying the role might have existed in the past but disappeared due to medical advancements like Viagra implants and the advancements in prosthetics and CGI.
It's because
if I
men are born
ever,
with actual penis length now.
if I ever see CGI penis in my
In the video game
pornography-
Fallout 2, it is possible for players to
However-
become a fluffer.
Wait, what?
In popular culture, 1998 video game Fallout 2. There, you got your Fallout.
Dude,
That's
half-
PC. That's all people. That's all virgins.
That's
that play
half of
PC.
Fallout 4. Excuse
I've
me.
said that before.
What?
I've said that
The
before.
2001 film The Fluffer is about a film buff with a crush on a porn star who is straight, for whom he would end up working as a fluffer in gay porn.
Jesus Christ.
4-minute short comedy film, also titled The Fluffer, was released in
So
2008.
short story, or long story short, school worked for you to prepare you for your job?
Well, inadvertently, I didn't go into factory till I was 22. I did fast food from 18 to 22.
I should say, to introduce you into the job world, was your schooling proficient enough at giving you enough information to know what to expect?
No, because, and I will say it did for everybody else, because everybody else at my school, I had a class of 90 kids. We were all, I'll even say I was well off. My parents took out a lot of loans to put me through that school. I'm sorry. But
footsie there.
they, sadly, I did not live up to their expectations, I'm assuming, because they all went and got careers like around the world. And for them, yeah, it worked.
But do they have a podcast?
They don't need one.
Probably not.
They have families and children and
You have a
loved
family
ones.
here.
Yeah, I do. You're right.
Yeah, but he doesn't put his dick in us at the end of the night, so.
Neither do they. They're married.
Sorry, Grandma.
Sorry. Jesus, dude.
Oops.
She's like. I'm just kidding. You can say whatever you want. It's funny.
What?
Just don't. Just
Is your mom watching?
my mom. Unless she went over there, no. She only watched the Danielle episode.
Wow, she doesn't even watch what I'm on?
She watched the Danielle
You're
episode
supposed to
because
send
she
it to
works
her
with
directly.
because she works with Danielle. Yeah, don't you have her fucking number?
No, you should give it to me.
BJ.
You should give it to me. Give me your mom's number.
How are you not a fluffer with your name? BJ.
Because fluffers
So-
give hand jobs. I suck them.
So, no, you don't give a hand job, you fondle. So I have to tell about the time I only worked a job for 2 days. Would anybody care to guess where it was? It was in town, and it was...
What's the
Industry.
Yeah, what's the industry? Is it like food?
that's a
Is it
giveaway.
general store? Is it?
It's going to be a giveaway. I worked 2 days at...
Walmart.
No, that's a dream of mine. I worked...
Festival?
Not many people know this. I worked 2 days at GameStop.
Oh,
I worked there too, but 3 weeks.
Okay, so you definitely outlasted me.
When I was working at Charter, I tried to think, oh, I can work 2 jobs at the same time, because after Charter, I'll go work at GameStop, because it's super easy. I know everything about this job already.
No.
I don't know how to scam
Yeah,
people.
it's a fucking like shock how much there is. So my first day consisted of not working for 8 hours, not getting my break, and learning
What a bunch of vape gods we
Is
have in
everybody-
here. Oh my god.
dude, just don't fucking pass out because I need you to run this shit.
I got killed.
Fuck.
Yeah, 3 milligrams is different than 0.
No. No. He's made me laugh at the
Sorry.
fucking full lung.
Finish your story before we let these people derail it.
It's not gonna derail. It's the track goes like this all the time. So
Watch out, Mitch.
My first day.
Blow it away.
I don't want that popcorn lung.
That's only if you jewel.
Whoa! I thought we said none of that. Jewel thief. God damn you! You're such a skeeve.
Lean over here and let me breathe it in your mouth.
God, no wonder you're single.
Continue your story, please.
You and I can have this podcast.
I think I need to go
I
now.
was gonna use names on that. I'm sorry. I think so. My second day consisted of also not getting a break, and it was the day after Borderlands 2 launched, so it was really fucking busy. I also managed, and now this is my fault. I accept full responsibility. Second day there, I was doing full drawer transactions, full everything. But here's the thing. Let's say they bring up the case. Yeah, I want to buy this game, Red Dead. Bring it up, give them the case, send them
No
out the
disc.
fucking door.
That's
oh, hell no, I never sold them the actual game. And then like 3 fucking people came back that day, and they're like, yeah, I didn't get the game. And like this one guy drove all the way back to
Oh,
Ripon
man.
before he realized it, and he was pissed. And now I had to do that thing where you like fill out the survey, and this one guy came in and looked at me and said, you know what, I wasn't actually gonna do the survey because I don't do that shit, but guess what, now I'm gonna. And that day, that was the day where like I was kind of just like looking around at where I was, how old I was, I'm not gonna say, who I was working with, what direction my life was kind of going in. I also had a second job too, and I'm like, fuck you.
Was this before the mall one closed?
No, it was after. No, it was while it was open.
So was it at the mall?
No, it was on Starbucks.
It was the other one.
Starbucks Plaza.
I missed
Gotcha.
them all at GameStop.
Yeah. So I ended
EB
up.
Games.
I did not get a second schedule.
Challenge everything.
I did not get a second schedule, and then my boss. I sent him my availability.
Wait,
Never
did
got
you
back to
actually
me.
say fuck you to the guy? Or was
No,
that
I said fuck this, like in my head. And I finished my shift. I went home, and then like a week or two later, he's like, "Do you even want to work here anymore?" And I guess he could just tell by my attitude. I'm like, you know what? I just want to focus on my first real job. He goes, "Okay, no problem." Like we didn't even get my tax information set up. That's how.
Well, you don't have to if you make less than $1,000, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I certainly did not make even anywhere near that, and I don't even know if I even got paid for those 2 days.
They gave him 2 used copies of like Splinter Cell. And
No, dude, they gave me the Dreamcast web browser disc, and they're like, "Get out of here, dude."
Here's a 14-day trial of AOL dial-up internet. Get the fuck out of my store.
You know what? I had a thing about GameStop. I'm not gonna bring it up because it would derail this fucking podcast.
I used to
please
use
don't-
GameStop
please
as my
derail.
own personal bank when I was married and needed to keep funds for myself.
This is. I feel like that's a. You have the hook in me. Trust me. But
Continue with your.
if this wasn't a themed discussion podcast, I would definitely want to fucking hear that because that sounds like a whole bucket of worms.
Like a whole thing.
Yeah.
My first relationship prepared me to have ways around things.
The shit. We're gonna do. We should do that as a theme. Relationships, not dating. Relationships.
No
Part two.
sex.
It'll just be sex again.
It wouldn't be sex because
If we're talking about my
it
first
would be a
relationship, it definitely won't be.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If it's gonna be relationships, people don't have sex when they're in relationships.
I would.
Bullshit,
I
they
would
don't.
love to have
That's
a
the joke.
podcast about relationships. I got plenty of shit to complain about.
Well,
boy.
there's always.
Me too. That I'm not in one.
Well, good
That's
thing we're
my
having a podcast tomorrow.
Heyo.
Here, you heard it first.
What?
All right.
Anyways, does anyone have an epic quitting story?
Yes.
Let me just say,
you want me to tell it?
mine's not epic, but I will. I just want to go. I'll tell mine really fast. Mine wasn't. I have 2 where they weren't epic, but they were walkouts. No, not walkouts. One was a walkout at Thriving Financial. I worked there for 2 weeks. I hated it, and I realized.
Just a quick one. What did you do there? Were you?
It was a call center. No, it was a call
Oh.
center. So like a
Yeah.
woman would call it. This woman called in and was like, "Yeah, I can't." And it wasn't just people in the building; it was people around the world that worked for
Yeah.
Thriving. Yeah, I can't copy and paste things from my phone. What do I do? And I go, "Okay, what kind of phone do you have?" Samsung. Well, Samsung. And
Same thing.
I said, "Okay, well, you need to like double tap it, and then an option should come up that says copy." It's like, how do you explain that over the phone? And she's like, "Okay, double tapping." She goes, "Nothing." Like,
Is
well,
your
what
phone
happened?
on?
Nothing. I did not think of that at the time. So yeah, I screwed up, and she eventually, I had to fucking log it away because I couldn't help her. I said, "How? How do I help somebody?" And I got in trouble for it because I didn't resolve it. And so the worst one though was I worked from 9 to 5, and when it was 5 o'clock, 5 to 5, you had to remain in the queue until like 59, and you could come out of it and get your stuff ready and go. This guy fucking calls me and goes, "Yeah, I got a son, grandson trying to study for the ACTs, and we got this email document I can't open. You got to open it for me." So I fucking remote in, check out all his stuff, and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, you don't have permission to open this." "Why not?" Like, you just don't. And I don't think you're supposed to be able to study for the ACT or something. You can. Oh. But anyways.
You just can't get like copies of the test.
Yeah, this looked shady. And the fact that he couldn't even open it. And he's like, I'm like, "How'd you get this?" He's like, "A trusted colleague."
Yeah, that's not legal.
Okay.
I paid a guy.
And it was like this. We all had to have our pictures, but I was so new I didn't have my ID picture up there yet. So he goes, I couldn't help him. And I was on the phone with him until 6:30, and I was the only one left in the building. 2 weeks in, I'm the only one left in the building. The janitors are gone. And I had to let myself out of the building, and I left it unlocked.
Oh no.
So, I mean,
like-
what else do you do?
Right. And I go, "Listen, sir," like 2 times try to get off the phone with him. We're not supposed to do that. I was starving. I was late for something. It was a Friday, and it's like July. And like, I want to fucking leave too. And eventually I go, listen, sir, I can't do this. And he goes, why don't you have your face up there so I can see you, so I can report you? I'm like, you're going to report me? I'm trying my best. He goes, I don't care, dude. He used dude. He's like 70. He's like, I don't care, dude. My grandson needs this. And I'm like, I really can't help. He's like, well, you've made me late for dinner, so I'm going to log this under a case, which is like they take a case against us.
I'm going to report this to the Better Business Bureau.
He did report it. I came back on Monday and found out that I had like a pending case against me, and that we all had to do a conference calls, me, my supervisor, and him, and his supervisor, who was like somewhere in fucking Hawaii, and he was in like Wyoming, and we're in Wisconsin. And I eventually said, like, I said sorry, and like, you can listen to the whole call, it's recorded. And he just goes, you know, my grandson is gonna take that, and he doesn't have any clue. I'm like, how's that my fault? I couldn't open the document. I couldn't open the fucking document. So eventually, we got out of it. My boss just goes, you need to try harder. Like, I was here an hour and a half past me. He's like, you just need to try harder. So my last Friday rolls around. I'm like, I texted my ex at the time, my girlfriend at the time. I'm like, listen, I'm quitting today. Meet me for lunch. I'm leaving at noon. So right as I'm about to leave, it was like that fucking scene from Office Space. My boss seriously asked me, he's like, do you want to work overtime this weekend? I said, yeah. I'm like, okay. So, oh, where are you going? I'm like, taking an early lunch. He goes, oh, you have to like sign a sheet to do that. I'm like, where's the sheet? So I'll get you one. And when he walked off, I grabbed all my stuff and walked out. I left my badge there, everything. I just walked out a side door that like you're supposed to scan out at the end of the day. I just walked out.
You're still on the clock. You're gonna get like a giant check in like 2 years.
Here's the thing.
If he ever goes back to sign out.
Well, he signed the check like at noon, and I think I walked out at like 11:30. So I got
for
like
half hour.
like $6, like $6 fucking dollars. But yeah, that's my only true big walkout story. The other one, I gave them like a month notice to change my department. Like, I don't want to work in this department. I want to work in another one. And he kept saying, well, we got the paperwork ready for you. I'm like, well, where is it? He's like, oh, we're finalizing it. He kept saying that for a month. Eventually, I just said, fuck you, I'm leaving. Got another job and left. So, like, that's my only badass quitting stories.
Yeah. I walked out of Save-A-Lot. Yeah, I told that already, though.
Oh.
That was my epic quit. I went on break and then come back.
How long did you work there?
A year and a half.
Damn.
Yeah.
Can I ask what made you quit?
I said it during the thing, but that kept having to work with coworkers that were shitty.
Yeah.
Like, they were the managers, but they were really shitty. So I texted the owner of the store, the general manager of the store. I'm like, I can't work with these people anymore. I'm done. He's like, all right.
Oh, so you let somebody know?
After I walked home, I was like, by the way, I'm not.
By the way, fuck you.
By the way, I quit. So, good luck.
Oh, I walked out of McDonald's.
But
that's not fair. I'm not going to.
But what was funny is I actually had walked out once before and said I can't work with these people anymore. And then he got me to come back and said he wouldn't schedule me with them anymore. But then eventually he started doing it again, and then I just quit.
Yeah. He figured you'd eventually let it go.
But he did.
Or grow
he
out
let
of
me
it.
walk out once and then come back because I was a good enough worker that they just wanted me back.
Look at you.
I know.
I know. I'm not going to tell the McDonald's. I will tell the McDonald's story if there's time, but I want to give you guys a shot here.
I'm going to cheat a little bit since BJ is taking a little bit longer with his breath. I'm going to cheat and say my first relationship was considered a job to me for 2 years, which
amazing.
is tied with my longest employment right now, which is the job I'm currently working. And it's thanks to Caleb that I was able to walk out of that and quit in an epic fashion.
Amazing.
Let's hear it.
So she was sick one day on the weekend, like a Saturday. She was sick, and she's like, yeah, I can't hang out today. She expected me to be over there anytime she was free. Whatever. So she called me in the morning. She said, yeah, I'm sick. I can't hang out today. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Just keep in mind, this is just like high school.
Yeah, this is senior
I think I know who
senior
you're
year
talking
of high
about,
school.
too.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, we went past her house. Senior year of high school on a weekend. And I was like, oh, okay, you can't hang out? All right, I'll make other plans. She's like, okay, cool, fine. So I called Caleb. I'm like, Caleb, because we were in the chess club at school. Like, that was our hangout spot.
Fucking
we wouldn't go to
nerds.
competitions or anything. We would just hang out and play chess after school and talk about gaming, whatever. So I was like, Caleb, do you want to hang out and play some chess or something? I'm really kind of itching to play. And he's like, all right, sure.
So I just
awesome.
I just came over to your house, right?
I went over to your house.
I thought we were in your basement when this happened.
It could have been. I think we were playing at your counter because it was a lot easier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So then I made plans, and like 10:30 that morning, she called me back. She's like, "I'm actually feeling kind of better. We should hang out." I'm like, "I already made plans. You said you couldn't hang out." And then she was like, "No, you need to cancel those plans right now and come over to my house." And this was after 2 years of being very... Abused is a strong word, but I would use it. I was kind of like physically and mentally, emotionally abused in this entire relationship. And that was my breaking point. Like, chess was my breaking point. I'm like, no, I already made plans because you said you didn't want to hang out. I'm not going to cancel those plans just because you changed your mind. And then she keeps egging on and on and on. I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. I still pride myself. I've never called any of my relationship partners a bitch. I've never cussed them out. I don't talk back to them like that because I don't disrespect people that don't deserve it. I said, fuck you. And I hung up the call, and that was the end of the relationship, and I went over to Caleb's house and played chess. So that was the best job that I've ever quit. The only one that I've ever walked out
It was like
on.
a job.
You're gonna have to retell that when we do relationships.
Go for
alright.
it. We can do that.
I mean, that's in the.
I
early
even
stages,
had a
but-
promise ring, and I still quit. So,
I mean, you can always use it for somebody else unless you got the names engraved.
do I even still have it? I don't know.
I mean, one of my exes got a tattoo on her. No names. It was 2 hearts. One was a big one was a little one.
For
That's-
you?
That's you and me. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, hard to believe there, isn't it?
I didn't mean like that. I meant like, I didn't know if you meant like you started dating her and she had a
fucking
tattoo for another guy.
No. Well, there's no names.
Commitment
It's just,
in a relationship?
it's
What?
just two. It's just 2 little hearts right here.
Is this
And you
1980?
You can. You can say it's for somebody else, you know, or you can like trick your head into thinking
More like
it's,
1950.
somebody else, you know. I got this around the same time with her, so like she could be a flaming skull.
Is that? I've been trying to eye that from across the room. I've never looked at it close.
off-
Is that like
the
a black?
offspring.
Oh, it looked like a black mana symbol from the Magic the Gathering.
I can see where you'd say that. Where you'd
Like, look
see
at it, Caleb. Isn't that like a Magic the Gathering
Kind
symbol?
of looks a little like that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
From a
actually.
distance?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, people. Someone thought I was in a gang. I'm like, fuck you. No, that's no. I
I'm
mean,
in a gang.
Gucci. Yeah, maybe Gucci. Fucking.
Fuck you for stealing my fucking line.
Yeah. Well, he got fucking.
You think you
beat into that
disrespect the
bird.
fucking vape god like that?
The vape god's sitting to your left. Yeah, yeah. As you vanish, as you disappear.
Oh my god.
Hello?
Just start climb your way out of that fucking.
God.
Yeah, as you fucking.
It was so
vanish.
cold.
I've been working 1.5 years towards this one moment, starting vaping.
Oh my god.
All right. Dude, you have bowl clearing lung capacity.
I once got a girl a promise ring. I gave it to her, and then we broke up 2 weeks later.
Oh, did she give it back?
No, she ended.
What?
She ended. It wasn't a real like anything expensive, but
Was it-
it was a ring.
It was one of
Ring
the ties off of a thing of bread.
Oh, that was a twisty?
Yeah, twisty.
No, dude, you gotta be fucking cute and get it from Piggly Wiggly in the fucking crank machine.
No, I just,
Have you guys
Cold
done
or
promise
something.
rings?
Nope.
When did that
Fuck
stop?
no.
Is that still a thing?
Should
Do
never
people
have been
still
a
do
thing.
that?
Jonas Brothers, bro.
What?
Oh, purity rings?
Yeah.
My,
I mixed those up in my head a
my
little bit.
Chinese tingling.
Yeah, Jonas Brothers with their
But that-
With
that-
the-
that-
with
I don't know if you're
Thanks.
worthy of the shades anymore.
That's fucking. I'm always worried of this shit.
I'm popping them back on.
how dare you talk back to the vape guy?
Yeah.
I said the vape. I
mouth.
said
Do I
the
need
fucking
to assert the dominance?
the vape god is sitting on your left. Yeah, dude. I mean, you could stop a fucking mugging with that thing. That thing weighs like 4
Oh yes, because I'm
pounds.
such a badass. Look
that
at
you
me,
were
I
the
vape.
cloud.
Because you could throw it at
No,
them.
yeah. You hold that right and you. Like if you're behind a guy that started to rob a bank, you could stop him with that. You not the smoke. You yeah.
The dude, the robber's like an
Was
Amish
that
guy. He has
intimidating,
no
or does
idea.
that show that I have a lot of money?
No, I'm saying hit him with the fucking thing.
Oh,
Oh, that'd be
It's
beautiful.
didn't hear
heavy.
it.
It's got a big
It
battery.
is heavy.
It's a big booty bitch.
Big
it's
booty
only 2
bitches.
battery. They make 5 battery.
Big booty
ones.
bitches club.
.club. So
You have a story,
BJ,
right?
talk about walking out.
Yeah.
Of the closet.
So my ex-girlfriend walked out. I mean, I know.
No, this isn't fucking relationships.
Okay, I gotta be a little sensitive with this one. I I worked for a construction company that will remain nameless. The boss,
JF Ahern.
sure, no, absolutely not.
Farmer.
So I was shoveling some gravel. The boss was compacting the gravel. If you guys don't know what that means, then I'm not going to explain it to you.
It's okay.
And he kept running it into the back of my feet, which it kept hitting me in like the Achilles, and it fucking really hurt because it weighs like 200 pounds and is like vibrating. It's really annoying. And so I kept going like, hey, knock it off, turn around, say knock it off. And it kept happening. So I turned around and threw a shovel at him.
Whoa.
And then he stopped it, and we started yelling at each other. And I was like, fuck you. And he was like, fuck you. I'm going to knock you out. And I'm like, fucking do it. And he didn't do it. And then we just kind of yelled back and forth for a while.
And then the balls connected.
I ended up calling my girlfriend at the time to come pick me up because I used the work vehicle to get there. I'm like, I fucking quit. I'm done. She comes, picks me up. And then apparently we were near a restaurant that has an outdoor seating area. I'm not going to name where. And some people that were there had called the police on us fighting. And the cops came after I had left. And that was the end of my employment there for about 3 years.
How embarrassing.
For about 3 years.
For about 3 years.
Wait, is this the one you currently work at?
No comment.
Was it your dad?
No comment.
You gotta say I plead the fifth, otherwise it can be held against you.
Wow, I pieced that together like fucking Sherlock Holmes.
I can see all the numbers
I
floating
didn't think it was
above your
that hard to
head.
figure it out.
I was holding it back, trying to let him figure it out himself.
Everybody's working. Yeah.
And because he told me that story before. It's a great story.
I was kind of trying to avoid saying who it was, but
You didn't say if it was or not. I'm just gonna go on and think it is.
He did say no comment.
yeah, no
That's
comment.
true. Okay.
It's
so-
fine. It's fine now. Me and the boss are okay.
I hope so. I hope so.
Sometimes people get into it, man.
Those fucking-
Look, listen, dude. I was at a job site today, and some fucking dudes were up on a ceiling welding, and they were dropping hot slag down onto these fucking mason getting their guys laying block. And these dudes went up
Laying
there.
block.
Yeah, they were sitting there. They yelled up to him. They're like, "I'm gonna fucking come and fuck you!" Blah, blah. Sitting there screaming at each other, and 5 minutes later, everybody's fine. That's how construction is, man.
Yeah.
People fucking fight.
Yeah.
They yell at each other.
Well, I mean,
kick your ass.
I kind of worked in the elements for a bit when I would install internet. I did it in every form of weather you can imagine. We fucking lined up satellites. Or not, well, yeah, satellite dishes with the drone towers, and that's how we fucking did it. And it was a bitch, getting swarmed by bees. My trainer fell off a fucking roof. A 2-story roof, but he fell into snow. But he was limping for a while.
It's dangerous.
Yeah, it sucked. And then sometimes we couldn't get it. We'd have to tell them we can't get the fucking signal, and they get all pissed off at us. I'm like, we didn't tell you to take your $2 or $3 million, buy a goddamn house in the middle of
nowhere.
sticks, dude. This is gonna side tangent. I honestly think that when you're moving to a new place, internet should be a factor. Internet availability
Should be one of the main factors.
one of them
Nowadays.
Yes,
Depending on who you
yes.
are.
Nowadays. This is 2016, so even back then I'd say, because everybody who asked us, every single person, the people who were like a minute outside of town, the people who were an hour outside of town in the fucking sticks, were like, "Can I get Netflix?" I'm like, "Fuck no, you can't." Sorry, you're pulling half a meg. You can't fucking do Netflix on that. Not even close.
You gotta let it buffer for 20 hours and you can watch 5 seconds.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, enjoy
Yeah,
the
but you
intro
can
to
download the
BoJack.
videos now ahead of time.
This is 2016.
Okay. Fair.
So I mean, now you can hop to the fucking public library and download shit while you're playing RuneScape. But back then you couldn't fucking do that, and now it's like I don't even know if they're still in business anymore. Like, you ever hear of Bug Tussle?
Yeah.
Or like Frontier? How the fuck are those places still in business?
Because
Charter can't get out to some of them. I get
yeah,
it.
Spectrum can't get out there.
So I would assume
Not
they
yet.
do the same thing they do. They've just been trying to improve their speeds, I would think. You
Yeah.
know? So they get you pull a meg.
Or half. Yeah.
Yeah, fiber. So don't quote me on this, because Spectrum, actually, pretty much every major cable company now is the whole back end is fiber. So it's
Yeah.
pretty much fiber up to the pole, and then it's coax to your house. But I think fiber is $2,000 every 20 feet or 10 feet.
Wow.
We
It's
started
just for the cable. Like it
Yeah.
is expensive as fuck.
They were rolling out fiber lines to select businesses when I was there in 2016. Very select in Oshkosh. I don't know if it was expanded since then or not, but that's when it was kind of starting. Yeah.
I don't know, they changed it.
So
I feel like it's
I mean,
almost expected to be at 100 megs by now.
pretty much everybody is.
100. Yeah. Well,
Well,
I think
those-
the most
those-
I've
More
ever
like
gotten
40.
is 60. Yeah, that's my best I've ever done.
What? Really?
60.
Dude,
Yeah.
I have Spectrum. I have Ultra. I usually.
It depends where
Every
you
speed
live,
test
though.
I
You could
do-
be right by a hub.
I'm not by the hub. I've looked it up. And it's called a node.
More like a know-it-all.
I used
Node
to
it
work-
all?
I used to work there. I looked
There
this
you
shit up. No, I actually looked up where I'm connected. But yeah, it's what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I pull way over 400 every time. Like I'm supposed to be getting 400. I usually pull like 460.
Well, then that's good for you, man.
I'm
Why
saying-
aren't we doing this at your place?
Maybe.
You fuck
Be-
with Alex. He's commenting. You
Yeah,
guys ever
yeah,
gone in?
it's-
You guys ever worked high?
No. Yes, I
Fuck
have
you,
actually.
liar.
My job
Let me
doesn't
say,
allow me.
at one place that I worked, when I was
getcha.
still a temp worker there, or like I worked for the temp agency there. I already said who that was basically already. We used to smoke weed at work. And it was dangerous. And then one time, okay, so here's the story for you. We were smoking the dubs.
American Bear.
Actually, it was a fucking pipe, but whatever.
Yeah.
They can't tell you what you can and can't do on your break.
It wasn't on break. It was,
On
it was
property.
literally we were just like hiding and smoking weed. But yeah, so we were toking it up, bros, and we get finished, and I was kind of like, it was like an upper, and I don't smoke very often, but it was what's it called? What's the upper called? Sativa or whatever.
Weed.
Bruh. It was like whatever, and then so I go to, I'm kind of like getting a little anxious. Then the fucking president of the company shows up,
Oh no.
full blown, fucking just like, oh my god. But it ended up being fine. He didn't notice. But yeah, we used to smoke. Well,
That's pretty funny. Yeah,
But now I can't.
he just said that he said once because I smoked with my manager. Alex did.
oh dude, yeah. When I worked at that call center that Kel worked at for a day, like literally, it was like the smoking break, and like 3 people would go outside, smoke cigarettes, and everyone else would go to their car and smoke weed.
Yeah.
Nobody there cared.
Every
fucking
day.
Let's talk about pyramid schemes because that's a job.
Oh my god.
Ba-da-ba.
Oh my god.
So
I'm looking forward to
yes,
this.
you can.
What?
You don't even have to ask. You can do
I'm
whatever
just
you
gonna look
want.
This way.
Caleb's
I'm just
part
going to
of-
mention that when I was in high school, when I was introduced to Caleb's parents, they talked to me about some healthy products for your body.
Not. No, actually, the company my parents work with is the company that the FCC, or what is it? What's the business regulation company with the United States?
the
FDA.
FDA.
No,
It's what
no,
the company of my
that's food.
the company of my whatever
Food
the
and drug.
whatever, yeah, whatever company my parents do is the one that the government uses to check if one is or is not a pyramid scheme, because the one that they work with is the only like one that is actually legit.
probably
it
the
Amway?
FTC.
Yeah, it is Amway actually.
Is it really? I just
Yes.
guessed. Oh shit.
Boom.
Wow.
The only actual like working like what do they call what do you even call that? Because like I want to say pyramid scheme, but it's not, because like it's just like
It's
MDMA.
Multi-level marketing.
yeah, sure.
inverted
Scheme.
funnel system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not, because everyone basically is on the same
Hey.
level as everyone else.
Because this was like the not the smart water, but it was like the
The
really-
perfect water.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
But then
still
there was
drink.
the
So good.
There was the other powder stuff that you would add to your food.
Coke.
Or your,
Well, no, they have like
beverages or
they have like protein powder. My mom puts that shit in the cookies all the
and
time.
they had me do the test where you try to pick up a chair or you drink the water
Oh, yeah,
and
that
then
was-
all of a sudden you can do it.
Well, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. But like they tried to get me to invest in it.
Were your parents
Well, no,
vacuum
not trying to
salesmen?
invest. Not trying to invest in anything. No, the company that they came out with like some. Like they had bought some company that comes out with like like Fiji water, but like it's called like perfect water. They had some process that made it do something.
steroids
Super
in it.
oxygenated or something?
Some shit
full of
like
oxygen?
some shit like that. But we actually did tests when I like was working out in high school. I could fucking lift more weights when I would drink it.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I'm not saying it's a
My
pyramid
endurance
scheme,
was
but it's,
higher.
like, the closest I ever
Well,
came
yeah,
to something
because
like
most people think it is one.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's
it had-
like I said though, it's actually the company that the government uses. They check other companies against the Amway model to see if they are legit or not.
Right.
Had pure bison testosterone in it.
It was called Invigoron.
It was
Pokemon.
Brondo.
Brondo.
That's what the plants crave. Oh my god.
Dude,
No, so I one time, let me tell a fucking story.
Go
Shut
ahead.
your mouth. One time I was between jobs. I think it was like a
fake
year or
time.
two out of high school, maybe even the year after high school. And I get a phone call, and I answer the phone, and some guy, he's like, "Hey, I got your name and number from blank, who was it was a girl I had gone to the Springs with." And he said, "She works for me, and she said that you'd be pretty good at this job. You should come down and talk about it." I'm like, okay. Like, he gave her name and everything, so it sounded legit. So I go down there. It was in that big office building right off of Main, like
I know
that really
exactly.
tall
Yeah,
one.
City Center Apartments.
Exactly.
I was there.
I go down there and I interview with this guy, and he wants me to sell knives.
Cutco.
Yes, it was for fucking Cutco.
How
And
many
he's like,
people have been duped by Cutco?
He's like, I think he wanted me to give, I was supposed to give them like $200 or something. They'd give me a set of knives, and then I had to sell it to my friends and family. Like, they didn't give you leads.
Yeah.
It was literally just like, yeah, and then you go to your friends and family, you got to, sell this many, and then we'll give you some leads. It's like, I'll get back to you on that.
yeah. I
It's like,
fucking
what a fucking
Yeah.
joke.
I fucking walked out of that.
Fucking bro, get Amazon.
I didn't know what I was doing up until like when they said that shit, because I went in myself. They said they have an interview. I have an interview for me, and I was unemployed at the time too. So I was like, what really pisses me off though is when I see now they have Instagram stories, or like even on statuses,
Oh,
be like,
God.
hey, DM me if you want to win $500.
Or you want to, hey, do you want to work from home and make $500 an hour?
Do you want to be a boss babe?
Yeah, hashtag boss babe.
Boss babe.
Boss babe.
Well, it's supposed to be boss bitch. I wouldn't
Boss
be called
bitch.
boss bitch.
You are a bitch.
Thanks.
Oh, what's Kelly in the office?
The business bitch.
The business bitch.
Which Kelly are you talking about?
She's like, I have a bunch of
The Indian
labels
one or
lined
the-
up.
Stop.
Oh wait, the one that was supposed to come on today?
No.
From
Oh
the
God. No, I'm
office.
talking about the business. Yeah, the business.
The business bitch. I got the MLMs are, yeah, it's a fucking nightmare.
Multi-level marketing?
Yeah. MLM.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, you can look at this weight loss thing. I lost 5,000 pounds in a day. You
Okay.
can do it too.
Can
Tell
I-
it to your friends.
Can I say, I do know a girl who did the rap stuff, and she did lose weight because I saw her before she started, and she was big.
Yeah, so the product
And
is
then
probably
she
real.
fucking lost. I saw her at Wally Weekend, and she shrank. Shrank.
But the whole business model behind it
Okay.
is what, like, a lot of those
Yeah.
things are like, hey, you buy 1,000 from us,
Uh-huh.
and then you can get your friends involved, and they'll give you money, and they buy 1,000 from you. And it's a fucking pyramid scheme.
What's the makeup thing that goes around all the time that you hear?
Mary Kay?
Is that it? Yeah.
America is
That's not
no,
multi-level
no,
marketing.
no, that's
just
that's
like
legit.
That's just like literally door-to-door salesman type
Yeah,
shit.
Yeah.
you're just a salesman.
But
for
people
them.
have parties with their friends, and then they try to
Yeah.
get them to buy
Still,
stuff. From
that's-
them.
They're just it's just a way to try and
That's
boost their
still a
sales.
way.
But
I
they're not
mean,
trying to get you in on the scam.
Yeah.
they're just trying to sell you shit.
Yeah.
which is fine, but it's
Because
still
if
weird.
they
but-
get you in, then they're losing money.
If you
Yeah,
want to be,
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
mean, kind of.
you're a distributor.
Which multi-level marketing, the only way to make money is to scam people out of their money, and then they scam people out of their money.
What bothers me is
No,
when
that's
people
why
say that they have their own business when I'm like, no, you don't. I actually saw a girl fall for it in college because I sat next to her every day, and I watched it happen. Like, I watched her get messaged by an old friend, and then I said, so do you anything tomorrow? I was like, I don't know, a friend hit me up, I might go for coffee. She started signing up, and then throughout the weeks I saw her like copy pasting like, hey, no, we haven't talked in a while, how you been, like these cookie cutter like answers into all
Copy
these
and paste
into messages,
person's name here.
into messages, and then you take out a few things to customize like the greetings and stuff, and eventually she would like she would send it out to like 5 people, and she had checklists every day while we're learning economics. She's like, it says, do 5 Facebook friends, do 5 family members a day, post 3 statuses at noon, 4 and 8, and all this shit, and it's like, make sure that you talk about distributing, and like, and after a couple weeks, she would call it her business. I have a business. I'm quitting my job because of my personal business. I'm like, You don't have a fucking business. You did not start It Works. You did not start Rap Girl. You did not start all this shit. You are a pawn, and if it works for you, if you become successful at this, good for you. Seriously, good for you. You're not hurting anybody. You're scamming. But
So
99% of the fucking money that's made in America and the world is off of scams. I think if people are dumb enough to fall for it, that's on them.
Do you have a source for that?
No, I made that up.
Oh.
But I'm saying no.
67% of statistics are made up on the spot.
I'm saying that if you fucking fall for it, it's on you.
Right.
If I started doing It Works and started wearing those fucking seaweed shit on my gut, I want each and every one of you to laugh at me and make fun of me. And then when I fire back and get mad, then you say, Mitch, we were supposed to remind you.
Always do research on everything before you buy it.
Well, yeah, that too. Yeah, I agree. But anyways, but I honestly, I think they're dumb. I think they're stupid, and I laugh when people fall for it.
I mean, Jordan
pisses
pretty much
me
has a
off.
good point. She's an employee.
yeah, it's
You're
true.
an employee. It's like that's like me being like, or like you being like, yeah, I own my own fucking business. I get paid every week. It's fucking great. I make shit all the time. It's like, no, dude, you work there. You don't own that place.
Right.
You're not a fucking business bitch. You're a fucking employee.
You, I have a question for you.
up?
Do you say you own a studio?
I say, yeah.
Yeah.
I call myself a co-owner in my Tinder bio.
Well, yeah, that's to get ladies. I get that, dude. I'd fucking lie.
Yeah, I've started adding that to some.
Oh, so it's
some
a lie
online
now?
things.
yeah, like LinkedIn and shit.
Excuse me.
What?
Excuse me. What did you just say?
I said, yeah, I lie to get women too. I'm just kidding. Fucking throwing shade. Good thing you got the glasses.
I'll take my money and walk away. Fuck you.
So, but no, I've said like, yeah, I got a little bit of podcast. I'll like slide that in, and like, yeah, I'd say I don't own it because it doesn't make money. Like the studio,
We own
from
it.
producing.
Just because it doesn't make money yet doesn't mean anything.
I say if you look at my Instagram, I say I belong to Icy Driveway.
okay.
I think that's cooler.
I mean, you're
little
yeah,
cooler.
it's like a partnership.
Yeah.
You signed your soul over,
like that.
so yeah.
So what?
You signed your soul over.
It shows I'm a sub.
Jesus fucking Christ. He's actually got a collar on. You just
I
can't
said
see
I'm
it
a
under the shirt.
submissive because I belong to.
Right.
I'm underneath. Them.
He's a sex slave. Not the illegal kind. That's just fucking out stuff.
No, you're good, dude.
Well, no, I'm pretty sure that's all just we hear. I don't think it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't think it goes for them
popped?
because I
Okay.
think it's just our monitor thing. It just pops through there a little bit.
just it's just the gain levels.
It's
with something.
what's Damn it! I have a really good question on here.
Then fucking
If
ask
there's
it.
anybody in the chat that's a single parent, could talk about like how children affects your choice of job. If it does, I was gonna ask fucking. God damn it, Kelly.
Stop canceling.
I can pretend to be a single parent for a second.
I need a cheat. I can't read that
He
fast.
needs a citation for that statistic.
Yeah, dude, I just make up like I said, 97%.
Does it work, BJ, to
67%.
get ladies? That's what Jordan's asking.
Do I look happy?
So
When you vape, you do.
solid no.
Yeah. The thing is, let me say this on cam. I'm not actually inhaling. I just do it like a cigar and just kind of taste
You mouth it.
Well, that's what I do. Yeah, I don't fucking bring it in.
This mouth does a lot. Just saying, ladies.
So, is the job that you work now the best?
Yes,
pay
that's very
for the
attractive.
work?
Thank you, BJ, for showing that to everyone.
I cut away from him.
Oh, okay.
What was it? Did you cut to just me? Because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I just saw. Did it catch my reaction?
Oh fuck! You made me laugh as I was trying to do a cool thing.
So so a couple of us have gone to work. I've never gone to work high, actually.
You ever gone on crack?
Have you gone up? Has anybody gone to work under the influence of any intoxicant, like alcohol or drugs
I
or
was
anything that
buzzed
would
a little
anything
bit.
that would make your job difficult or that would make people believe that you were performing under unsafe circumstances?
I went into work a bunch of years ago. I had a big fucking glass of Sam Adams on an empty stomach, and then I went into work, and then
Are you able to say which job this was
No.
that you went in?
no, it's not the one I'm at now, and
Okay.
it was years ago. Like right when I turned 21, and I kept dropping things, and I would just laugh when I would drop it.
As long as you don't drop.
What
the
were you
Dentadent.
dropping, though?
No, it was what?
What kind of things were you dropping?
The base.
Tongs. Does that fucking answer where I was at? I dropped a tongs like
Yes.
6 times in a row.
I dropped French fries.
Like, oh shit. I dropped the ice cream machine that was broken down.
I dropped a
That
McRib.
answers
I dropped
everything.
the McRib. Dude, can I tell you
I'm
something?
not gonna say where it was.
Drop the
Can you
boardwalk Monopoly
Google-
piece and sweeped it under the oven.
Dude, do you know we're not allowed to play that for like 4 years after
10,
I said
you
that?
said.
10?
You said
Did
10.
I really?
You said 10 years.
Oh, mixing up his own fucking stories. now.
Probably.
Yeah.
Can you do me a favor? Google McRib raw.
Okay.
Because I want you guys to see what it looks like not cooked.
I'll raw your
It's
McRib,
not that
boy.
that pink slush, is it?
That's fake. That was fake. That was confirmed fake.
I've worked there. I'll tell you if it is or not.
Jesus.
Well, have you never seen that video of the pink like toothpaste looking shit?
Is that right there?
Pink paste.
There it is. That's what a McRib is, raw.
Is that a waffle?
Whatever.
It's a McWaffle.
It's literally it's like I don't
It's got some
like yeah,
freezer.
it looks kind of gross, but like people don't understand.
It's
It's
got
just
some
fucking
fucking
shredded meat. It's
freezer
shredded
burn.
meat packed together.
Yes.
Like
when
whatever.
they had the McRib on,
like that's everything you
on
eat
Simpsons?
is that.
yeah, when they had the McRib on Simpsons, they finally asked Krusty like what it was made out of. It's like, is it made out of cow? He says, no, it's baby cow. Krusty goes, no, it's actually think small with many legs. Ooh.
What do you guys trust more, McDonald's food or school cafeteria food?
Definitely
School
McDonald's.
cafeteria.
But they fucking probably come from the same factory anyway.
The reason I say school cafeteria is because it's the same shit they've been serving since the 50s. It's never killed anyone.
Yeah, and look what it's done to us.
Let me tell you a story. Recently, I was working at a food processing factory.
Damn.
Not as a job, but like we were doing some construction work there. I'm not gonna name the place or even the city because then you'll be able to guess what place it
Or
is.
your boss.
Let's just say, yeah, or my boss. They process foods for other companies and then package them. Well, I literally
They
asked
taste test them and then package them?
No, they just package them. And literally, I asked the guy, I'm like, it's all the same shit, right? He's like, yep, every brand, same shit.
Just different hours.
Comes from the
of
same
production.
fucking place. And
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's how it like that. People don't get that. They're like, oh, if I get this brand, it's like, no,
So definitely buy the store brand for cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Like the
He
great,
said the
great
only-
value is the same as the.
Yeah, he said
The
literally
label.
the only difference is like a little bit of quality standard. So like the pH balance in the water of the fruit might be a little different. And it's like fucking big deal. Why you guys just drink at the same time? I feel left out.
You're the one talking.
You have the floor. That means we can drink. You can't.
Yeah, I got the walls too.
Drink your
bitch.
fucking vape juice.
Dude,
crack
remember
it,
when I was
drink it.
I kind of thought about see what would happen if I drink.
No, you're gonna fucking die.
It says specifically on the bottle not to do that.
If you
Well,
do it
it also
enough
says
in
on
a short
your
amount of
fucking
time, you can
lungs.
lick your lips, and it's like you drank some of it.
I actually did spill a little bit on my tongue, down my throat.
Alex has the
Now
real.
you're addicted for
Alex
life.
Walber with the real wisdom. Buy the bagged cereal, folks. I cannot say this enough.
Yeah, it's
Does
pretty
that
much
cross
the same
over to milk?
I can't eat bagged milk.
Buy the bagged milk.
shit. Yeah.
No.
I can't eat
No, you gotta
cereal
get-
anymore.
Why don't they make like ice packs where you break it apart? Why don't they make fucking bags of cereal with bagged milk with a divider and then you just break it and push
What
them
the
together?
shit? You're living
They
in
have
like
those cereal bars.
You're
with
living in
the
condensed
future.
sugar.
yeah, you're living in 3019.
Yeah, man. I've
Get the
been
fuck
to
outta
the
here.
year
Oh
3000.
my god.
Haven't you had
Not
those
much
cereal
has
bars, like the
changed, but-
cinnamon
Dude,
toast
those are
crunch?
fucking
Yeah.
delicious.
Yeah. They already made what you're talking about. It's not real milk.
It's not even. Yeah. it's
But I want
cream.
real
It's
milk.
close enough.
Probably powdered milk.
I want that real milk.
Ask Angelique for some milk.
Can you imagine if powdered milk was like a real natural thing? Like you went to milk a cow and fucking dust came out?
Fuck.
Have you ever heard stories of women that try to breastfeed and it's just powder that comes out?
What the fuck? You better stop.
Oh.
Is that real?
I don't want to exist anymore.
Oh, Mitch's gonna faint.
Can you imagine sucking on
Don't fucking look it up.
Can you imagine sucking on a titty and fucking dust comes out?
No.
Oh my god.
Powdered breast milk. We already did the dating episode.
No, I don't want like manufactured. Let's find out if real.
I don't want to.
Is
Please.
there any girls watching? Let's
No,
find out. Let's
girls
ask the
don't watch.
audience.
Girl, Carrie Fox is watching, I think.
Yeah. Hey, do you know if fucking girls ever? Is there like a verb for milk
shoot
coming out of your
empty?
breast? Like shooting.
I mean, men have that, don't they?
Lactating.
Well, I mean, because we say like I'm coming, I'm spunking, I'm blasting.
Lactating.
What about
Isn't
what
there a
about?
term for men that
Lactating.
ejaculate and nothing comes out?
Yeah, but
Isn't that
I'm
shooting-
saying that's
shooting
not a
a
cool
blank?
word though.
Shooting blanks.
Yeah.
Shooting blanks is when you ejaculate and
No, there's no.
there's no sperm.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah,
sperm.
so there's got to be the equivalent of for women, right?
I know. I know what lactate means. I want like a
term
cool
that-
word.
It is a verb. It is a cool
Oh,
word.
like a street
not
a street
cool.
name.
Do you say, I'm going to ejaculate? No. You go, yo, I'm going to fucking blast like Jimmy Neutron.
Got a
I don't
blast.
say lactate. That's fucking...
I said, hold on.
Boom goes the dynamite.
Who's Athena Cohen?
I know her.
I think I know her too. Is it the?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Ruin. Today on Mitch Ruins, dun 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 dun.
Yeah,
remember-
all the women that you know are going to join the podcast and see you vaping.
Remember-
Good.
Oh, all
Hey,
right.
can I tell you this? 100% of the women on dating websites such as Tinder, Hinge, and Bumble, 100%, 0%.
Okay.
I've told about the podcast, have looked at it, and then not talked to me.
Oh,
sounds about right. Sucking
you didn't
now.
link the right episode.
I've linked them to the
What?
page.
Yeah, but then they see the most recent, and it's always with this guy.
Sucking
What?
is not a fucking
'cause-
adjective for
that's 'cause
lactating.
I
Not
feel like
adjective,
the more we have
synonym.
all four of us on, or three of us, we'll all get better on the mic. Like, dude, the first time I had him on, I didn't even know him. The very first time, like a year ago. That was the first time we met.
It's still the best episode you've ever fucking had.
Yeah, all 3,000 of those views from you.
Do you feel like it's better for you to meet people for the first time on the other side of the mic rather than face to face outside of the podcast?
That's a good question. The reason I like doing sometimes completely blind episodes is because the whole reason I started this was just because, like, to get to know somebody. He's trying. And
Try to do
if
cool tricks.
the one time I did it with Dakota Glass was I didn't even know what he looked like until he walked into my apartment.
I love that episode.
Yeah, me too. I consider it my most organic one because the entire thing, what you see on camera is completely unfolding in front of you. You're seeing me get introduced to him. You're seeing me get to know him and get more comfortable as we go. Like when we first started, our body language, we're very reserved.
Right.
But by the time we're done, we're fucking high-fiving and shit. It's the same with there's a female guest that happened to with damn it. Vicky, thank you. I always start use that as the example. She is sitting across. We've only met one time at a bar. That was years ago, like 3-4 years ago. But this time, when she's met, she's sitting like this the whole time. By the end of it, we're like this close, like sitting, like leaning towards each other like this.
Holding hands.
And we weren't holding hands, but like it
Staring
was
into each
getting
other's
emotional because she was talking about her kids, so it got emotional. And like I even at one point I did choke up a little bit. So she's engaged right now. So if she ever watched this, congratulations. Very happy for her. She's a good girl.
She's a good girl.
Yeah, but I prefer, to answer your question, I wouldn't say I prefer either one. I just really enjoy interviewing someone I know very well. Somebody is actually coming in on Tuesday who I know very well. I've known him for
Who?
15 years. My buddy John.
It's the first we've
Oh,
heard.
I'm sorry, Tuesday. What about Thursday?
Tuesday. Thursday, that's a surprise.
Okay.
So
Thursday, that's today.
Huh. Wait, should I sit here and say the thing that you didn't want?
no,
you don't
fucker,
want me
I'm
to say?
gonna say it later.
Okay.
Let's
See,
talk about tips.
Yeah.
Tips,
Just
man.
Just the tip.
Now I know that the sex talk was supposed to be done, but we're just getting fucking started.
I like to fuck.
We're not talking about manager
Gang
tips.
talk about tips.
We are actually going to be talking about money tips. What?
Get rid of them.
Now the scene, my favorite tipping scene in
Keep it,
any
don't spend
movie
it.
is the tipping scene in the very beginning of Reservoir Dogs, where they're all coughing up $1 to pay to tip at the
Steve
breakfast.
Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi's in it, and he says, "I don't tip." Because what do you fucking mean you don't tip? And he goes into this huge fucking awesome spiel about how he doesn't believe it. And then he makes really good points. Why does the government say, I'm sorry that waitresses and waiters are a group that the government fucks on a daily basis. But why do you tip these guys over here? You don't tip these guys over here. How come you don't tip people at McDonald's? How come you tip people or you don't tip a mechanic?
Minimum wages are different.
Okay, that's a good point. Elaborate.
If you're like a waitress, you get paid like $2 an hour.
Absolutely, I made $2 an hour at A&W.
That's what I'm saying.
Why did it become expected for people in that industry to
Exactly.
get paid under the minimum and be expected to be reimbursed through generous donations from people being served the food?
Exactly. Where did this come from?
Don't know where it came from. It just should stop because it's fucking stupid.
You don't want to tip?
No, it's not that I don't want to tip. It's like people's wages shouldn't be, or people's livings shouldn't be dependent on whether or not people are assholes.
Yeah,
people
possible
still-
generosity.
People still tip, and that's why it's still a continuing trend.
Yeah, but people tip because people still tip. Did I just hear a fucking meow?
Huh? No. I said, I laughed. I went, people still tip.
No, I heard a meow.
No, you heard
He
the
made a
door.
noise with his mouth.
No, the door opened.
No, Mitch went.
No, I
Anyway.
didn't.
When
The
you were
door
breathing in.
fucking opened.
So,
All right.
yeah, so tipping, like the fact that you can get paid $2 an hour, and I've never worked a fucking tip job in my life, so this does not affect me at all. I'm just not an asshole like you, Mitch. I'm just kidding. Yeah, like you can get paid $2 an hour, and then some family of 10 could be an asshole and be like, taxation is theft. There's your tip. And fucking post about it on Facebook.
Get a better
but do
job
not get,
that has minimum wage.
Get a better job. Like,
Bad job.
and so you got to go home with fucking $5 for the night.
No. Or
It's
pay
ridiculous.
or pay in.
Or pay in.
Yeah.
Because people fucking walked out without paying their, like, it's fucking ridiculous.
Is there a job that you guys have worked that you feel like you should have been tipped for doing?
I've been tipped at my current job.
Because I feel like working at Buffalo Wild Wings in Florida, I would have to do the lunch shift, which is 4 hours, by myself as the only person in the kitchen running an entire store, cooking all the food for every single person for 4 hours. And that's a lot of micromanaging because there's 5 different stations that you work at in the kitchen. And I have to keep track of when everything comes up and time all the meals to come out exactly at the same time for everything. And that was the most strenuous thing I've ever had to do, and I got paid minimum wage for it.
You shouldn't be tipped for that. Your employer should just pay you for what
Better.
you do. Pay you better. Like, it's not. It shouldn't be up to the customer. Like, from a customer standpoint too. Why is it up to me to pay you what your boss should be paying you?
I mean, yeah, it makes sense that tips should be like above and beyond service, not expected payment.
Yeah, not compensation
for doing your job.
Yeah, not like.
I mean, nothing against current waitresses and everything like that needs to be tipped in order to meet the minimum wage standards. But yeah, I believe tipping should be if somebody has shown exemplary service in something and going beyond what their job requires them to do and has helped you out, then maybe you could throw a little something their way to show your appreciation.
Yeah, I mean, like, tipping is still acceptable, but yeah, like you said, to the point where, but right now, you're literally tipping so that they get paid what they should be getting paid anyway.
It shouldn't
it's not
be
even
expected.
Yeah, it's really stupid. And it just doesn't make any sense.
But like you said, sadly, I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon.
It's starting to.
I think
some restaurants are getting rid of it.
I think. God,
Well,
I
starting
don't.
to get so much backlash for it.
If I'm thinking back to how many times I should have been tipped, God, I'm kind of a fucking hard ass on myself. Like sometimes you guys are gonna hate me, but it's my opinion, my fucking show. Sometimes I think you should just get a fucking better job. I should have gotten a better job out of McDonald's.
Why?
I made $7 a fucking hour.
Why?
I should have been working harder somewhere else.
Why?
But the problem is,
Dude, shut up.
No,
That's not
I'm
a fucking
serious.
real.
Why?
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 I was fucking 22. I shouldn't have been working there.
Why though?
Why should? Because I've worked
Why does
there.
it matter?
Why? Because I didn't make enough money.
$7 is not enough for.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about the
minimum.
money.
That's
Right.
bare minimum living. You need to have.
Right. So I should have worked
actual
somewhere else
living
that
wages.
required. No, I should have worked somewhere else that required more talent of me to earn that money. That's what I mean.
Does your
It
job
was-
now really require that much more talent?
Not really, but
Exactly.
I get paid $18 an hour.
That's what I'm saying, though.
And I'm just saying, like, let me finish. The fucking people who say it should go up to 15 an hour at McDonald's are, no. I work there, and I guarantee you it does not warrant that. It does not. It doesn't matter if you think you need to live off that or not. If you need to find something that requires a little more skill where the money matches that.
But you
there are
you
more
just said your
options
job
out there.
You just said your job requires the same skills as McDonald's.
No, I didn't. I said it doesn't require more than that, like a ton more. It's not like a collegiate level. It's another set of skills. Yeah, it's higher. There's more fault. There's more liability. Where if I fuck up, a lot more bad shit can happen. If I fuck up at McDonald's,
So
a
you get
raw
food poisoning.
a raw burger goes out and someone bites into it and they're like, oh, this is gross. Yeah, maybe someone gets a little bit of a
And they just
tummy
keep
ache.
eating it anyway. Ugh.
I've seen it. I've fucking seen where people have eaten the whole thing. They're like, that sucked. Give me my money back. I've seen it. I've done it. I've not done it, but I've dealt with it. I'm saying is like, all I'm saying, BJ, this is my opinion, and I'm allowed to have it. Okay?
All right, no, I'm just kidding. You
Yeah,
are.
Yeah, and you can have your opinion. I'm saying to me that if you sometimes I think get a better job, but I mostly do agree with you that fucking sucks that people only make like $2 an hour. I've done it, and I've had to depend on the tips that I didn't even earn. When I was at when I was at A&W, the girls had to go out there in 2006. They're teenagers, and they had to fucking flirt with the goddamn drivers. These old men who would like drop change on the floor on purpose and watch them pick it up. Yeah, you fucking go get them nickels. Yeah, so no, I fucking heard it, man, because those speakers on the order windows, they go both ways. We can hear everything. So when you say shut the fuck up to your kids, we heard all of that, and it was shitty, and they had to bring that money in. If they got a big tip for doing whatever, we fucking got a piece of it. That fucking sucks. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, it's like holy shit, this isn't gonna change. I gotta go somewhere where it's different.
But
that's how
all I'm saying is, why shouldn't it change? I mean, yes, you're making food, but is what like for instance, not to, like I'm not trying to shit on your job or anything because it's obviously not an easy job either. But like, is what you do now more important than that?
I don't think it's more important. No,
But that's what I'm saying is like, so why is your time more valuable than their
The
time?
quality of the things that he's producing is of higher quality than the food.
it's higher
that's
value.
required.
But it's not at a higher demand.
It
I
doesn't,
think
it doesn't matter. Like,
300.
it's-
I think
does, though.
I think you're seeing it from. I think you're putting too much feeling into it. Like
not
you're
putting any feeling into it.
you're
You're-
valuing a Big Mac
you're
more than
comparing the product, the
No.
Yeah.
end product of the job.
you're trying to compare a Big Mac to a $300 sunroof.
No, I'm comparing time.
It's the same amount of time. Everyone works
That's what I'm
full
saying.
time.
So if everybody's like, I'm saying for the time you put into your job, why is your time more valuable than somebody who works at McDonald's?
That's the problem at hand right now.
That's what I'm saying. It's
People
not
are
though.
getting paid minimum wage, minimum living wage,
Yes.
when they should be getting paid comfortable living wages.
That's
Being
exactly
able to pay
what I'm
all
saying.
their bills and be able to still have a little bit money extra to
Yes.
live with,
Which is
rather than being paid the absolute
which is
Do you
minimum.
guys
exactly
believe in
what I'm saying.
equality of income? Like everyone should just earn the same
No.
amount?
I believe that
do not.
everyone of the same job
Race.
description should be making the same amount of money. Unless you have extra responsibilities added on, then you should make more.
So because the guy working 40 hours a week at McDonald's making burgers he works 40 hours, but then I work 40 hours a week doing my thing, he should make the same amount of money as me.
No,
that doesn't
I'm saying
bother me
no.
if he does.
Yeah.
But
I'm
why,
not saying yes to the question. I'm saying
why okay, what are you saying then?
No, I said yes just out loud, but I'm just saying I didn't mean to say yes to. He
Well-
should exactly make the same amount of you as like a law, like everybody makes the same amount. I don't agree with
Okay.
that. I'm just saying, and I don't agree it should be 15. Well, it depends on the area. Like Fond du Lac, fucking $12 an hour is fine for minimum wage. 15 is like for like Milwaukee or LA or places with higher cost of living. Like it should depend on the area and age. I don't think a 16-year-old needs to be making fucking $1 million an hour. But yeah, like I was saying, it needs to be a living wage because, I mean, the whole point of minimum wage when it was created in like 1960 was to make sure that if you work, you can provide for yourself. They never increased the minimum wage to go along with inflation.
The cost of living has increased by 300% in the last couple decades, and the wage has increased by 15%.
Yeah, exactly.
In contrast.
They never synced up together. So if you took it up to 15, you'd basically be raising it back up to where it should be if you kept them going side by side. But I'm just making, because everybody's like, well, it's a fucking high school job. Who cares? Well, A, if it's a high school job, why are they open during high school hours? Like, If only high schoolers are supposed to work there, then why are they open during the day? It's not. It's because it's just another business. So I'm just saying, like, I work really hard. I work a very dangerous job. If some fucking dude flipping burgers can make $15 an hour, awesome. Fucking do it. Like, that doesn't affect me at all.
Right.
And I think he should be able to afford to not fucking go to bed hungry every night.
Sure. Well, they give you a 50% discount at McDonald's, so I'm sure he's doing just fine.
God, can you imagine? Like I was telling you before that I don't get sick of eating the same food every day.
Right.
But I don't think I could eat McDonald's every day.
Well, there was one time I did, and I was
the gut rot.
really sick from it. Yeah, and then there's one time I eat Subway for 30 days, and I got sick of that. And okay. So my final 2 cents in this is, look, the whole thing with the minimum wage going up is not going to happen. It won't. It won't ever be where you need it to be. So I feel like, given that, I think people need to recognize that and do a job that they can do with their availability that they can provide. And they need to, if it's not working out, they need to take the initiative and figure out a job that they can do. And if there's no opportunities in the area, that really sucks. That really does. And in the meantime, campaign for a better wage. That's what I'm saying.
Here's a question.
I'm taking your side as well as giving my own side, if that makes sense. I feel like I can go on both sides. I'll say minimum wage minimum wage should be raised, but also at the same time, if your shit's not working out, do something about it.
It's not always that easy, though.
No, it's not. But neither of those two things are easy. And it's going to take years and years and years and years to figure the minimum wage thing out, if ever. It probably won't ever get, in our lifetime, we won't probably ever see it go to where it needs to be. But at the same time, like, let's say you got 2 kids and no spouse to help you take care of them. Yeah, maybe waitering and waitressing is your only option. At the same time, like, if you're fucking stuck on that, do your best, make the best out of it. And maybe that's going to be shitty. And that's just the roll of your dice. That sucks. But we should always try to do something about it, is what I'm saying. We should try to help our fellow man by voting for more increases in wages. But at the same time, take a little bit of responsibility and try something. I'm not saying it's your fault if it doesn't work out, but just, put forth your effort.
Do you have an answer?
It's never that easy. No shit, dude. I just fucking said that.
Do you have an answer, Mitch, or at least an opinion about the fact that 60+% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck? Do you have something that might be able to alleviate that? Or at least...
No, I don't.
It all comes down to...
it's not that
that's
easy.
The reason. That's the reason why people stay in the jobs that they have, because they can't afford to be without the job for 3 weeks to switch.
The mentality that, just make it work is so wrong, because it's not the people... Like,
those are the people saying that walked into the job.
There's a lot of people that, like, have, issues, or there's a lot of people that make it poor for everyone else. Like, those shitty people that try and take advantage of any, like, systems or whatever. But majority of people are just trying to do their job and, do whatever, just make a good time out of it. The problem is that corporate America is just trying to make more money than they should be. Like, that's why the government just needs to regulate basically how much.
Caps.
Yeah,
it's extremely disproportionate.
Like, the employees need to be paid. Employees need to be paid based on how much money the company is making. Like, if your profits go up by this percent, you need to give your employees this much of a raise.
Because they're the reason why you even made that much.
Yeah, exactly. Like, without
not the person at the top.
Yeah. Exactly.
A little direction, changes a lot of things, but the people making the product are the ones that determine how much profit you make.
There just needs to be more regulation, like light, not like heavy, but like light regulation on like certain things to kind of even out the playing field between people trying to just work and live their fucking life. And, obviously the whole government is set up to just pump money out of us because, we're assigned a fucking tax ID number at birth. Like, only reason we're here is to provide money for the government to run. So, of course, they're going to try and line their own pockets and the pockets of the people that give them money, which is corporations. But, we can try to change it by electing people that are going to actually have correct thinking. But, it's a dream world.
That's honestly the biggest problem. Dream world. That's the biggest problem that I have with my job right now. When I get sidetracked and have to drive this van around site all day, just trafficking people around to the different parts of the site, I hear all these stories about people talking about, I haven't had a chance to visit my second house up north and go on my third boat because I've just been too busy at work. Like, oh my
See,
god,
they're feeling it too,
like,
man.
oh man, wow, it sucks to be you
Economy
that you
fucking,
haven't been able to use
economy's
this thing that
fucking
you spent
hurting
millions of
everybody.
dollars on.
Yeah, economy fucking hurts
Damn.
everybody.
I hear. That
I
kind
see
of
you
shit all the
walking
time, too.
around for 3 hours a day outside during breaks, not doing any work, while I'm here working, sweating to death.
I feel bad for them.
I always
if I
say
had
that.
3 boats, I'd feel like shit too.
Those people like
You need to go on them at least once a day.
And then
Yeah.
they get upset when you can't relate and say, "Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but I'm sorry your life sucks so much."
Dude.
Oh, yes, it really does.
No, it does. If you had 3 fucking boats and you couldn't go on them at least once a day each, dude, you'd fucking complain too. When you have
my
Caleb
worst
making
problem-
motors for you and he breaks his fingers on it and you hit him because he can't fucking make it better, you'd have a fucking problem.
When
too.
my biggest problem of the day is that the van's electric doors don't automatically open for me the moment that I pull the latch on the door,
Yeah.
then please shoot me.
then you can blame.
Please shoot me.
You
Then
can
my
blame-
life is complete.
Then you can blame Middle America.
There's no middle America anymore. It's either you're on the bottom or the top.
Middle America is just small because it just consists of college
Dollar per
graduates.
meal.
It just consists of the 4-year college grads that are going into like doctor jobs, lawyer jobs, all that type of degree shit.
And yet there's only an exponential amount of more people born in trying to look for jobs, and there's not more jobs being made to accommodate.
And guess what, people? Automation is coming. When that happens, you're going to see even more unemployment.
Hell yeah, dude. Dude, I'm already trained on robots,
Here's a-
so fuck you, plebs. I'm
Look at the
going
new
into
Charlie
it.
and the Chocolate Factory movie.
Here's a
God.
question. We all collectively know a lot of people. How many people do we know that make more than 40 grand a year? Anyone? Any at all?
Well, even
Yes, I know
when you're
one.
at, when you're at the
Our
point
age. I mean,
where-
our age.
One.
Yeah.
when you're at the point where 2 people
sure.
working full
Probably
time
2 or 3.
with no children still can't afford everything that they have in life at almost the bare minimum levels, then you have to kind of step back and be like, what the fuck? Just
Actually, money does buy happiness. I can confirm that.
Money definitely fucking buys happiness.
until
definitely
you
bought
Because it
Yeah,
have
eliminates
nothing
stress.
left.
Well, it eliminates
Yeah,
stress.
it
You can get rid of all of your
does
worries,
get rid of stress.
but you can't buy the things that make you actually genuinely care about waking up.
if
in the
you
morning.
if you place your happiness in items, that's fucking on you. You need
Yeah.
fucking Jesus.
Exactly.
Dude. You get Jesus in your fucking life. You tell me.
the
No,
people that
happiness is an
say that
item.
that money doesn't buy happiness have never.
Not had money.
I shouldn't say they've never had a hardship in their life. They've never had to be a normal part of the majority of American citizens that don't that can't say next week they know what's going to happen, money wise.
They've either never had a hardship in their life, or they're so rich now that they forgot about their hardships in their life.
They can't relate anymore to people that say, "Oh, I can't go out because I can't afford a $10 meal because I have to pay these bills instead." And yet I still work full time, almost more time than you have to work.
It's like I remember this one like billionaire or something did the I think they called it like the food stamp challenge or something, where basically they would like for like a month he would live on what like somebody on food stamps would get for a week. And he's like, I just watched the video. He's like, this fucking sucks. They get like nothing. Like I can't live
And then
on
he
this.
pulls out a wad of cash and just starts buying like diamond hot dogs and stuff.
That reminds me
Give
of
me some of those.
a story I saw about some billionaire that spent like $30 million, or he paid $30 million to some college to research why poverty levels are the way they are, and then he just went to find out that he's the reason why.
I will say this. I only make $18 an hour. I work 40 hours a week, sometimes 46, sometimes 54, if I'm pushing it hard, and it's not a lot. And I've never missed a bill.
There was a stat
that's just
that
my life, though. I just wanted to say that. I've
$18
worked.
an hour is more than enough to survive in a place like Wisconsin.
I'm
especially
making.
Fargo.
Okay, but-
I just wanted to say I'm making very minimal effort into it. I'm also an only person, and I very lucky. I don't have super a lot of medical problems.
What happened tomorrow if the front ball joint on your car broke and it was like $500 to fix?
I could do that.
Most Americans
You
can't
are
afford a
very lucky.
$500
Yeah.
emergency.
I didn't say I was fuck you because that's it. I'm just saying like I am
50
yeah, I
cents
am
more than me.
lucky. What?
You make 50 cents.
Yeah,
more than I do.
exactly. So if the ball joint broke on your car, would you be able to fix
Yeah,
it?
50 cents makes all the difference. I would just fix it myself.
Within the last 2 days, I saw a stat on Reddit that a college university did that showed that 70% or more of America makes less than $16 an hour.
That's, yeah, it's shitty, but those people also are probably working without degrees. And
Yeah, but you
that's
shouldn't
one of
need
the
a
biggest
degree.
problems. Yeah, like you
Does
shouldn't need
a
to make the
degree
money.
really show how much your time is worth
Doesn't matter what your
compared to
time
what
is
the job
worth.
you're doing? Somebody could be working 30 years without a degree in a factory and have more know-how about how to build something from scratch,
Okay.
and that determines that they still only can make $15 an hour.
Well,
If
they
that.
chose to stay working there for 30 years, so it's
Maybe
kind of
they
on
can't
them.
afford to
That's
go
gonna be me.
elsewhere.
Huh?
Maybe they can't afford to go elsewhere.
If they want to make it work, they can.
Maybe they have a family that
yes,
can't work.
That's what I was saying. Like
Yes, if you have a family that can't work because of medical reasons, that's shitty, but they should also be getting, if they have a family that doesn't work, they're also getting help from the government because of disability.
The amount is extremely disproportionate.
I'm not saying it's not, but it's
not about experience.
it's not
anymore.
people need to actually come together and make a change because, like Alex said in the chat earlier, workers have the power, and like Merck's a good example.
Yeah, I read that.
Like years ago, Mercury decided to unionize. Huge, great decision for them.
Right.
Obviously.
was that was that something recent?
No, it's like years ago, but like
Oh.
when they did, like one of the years Mercury almost moved
I remember
all their
that.
operations out of the city, but the
That was
union
a-
protected it. They
That was
made
a
the
big
deal.
fucking deal,
Yeah.
actually. That was like 10, 15 years ago.
They made a deal to up our taxes.
Yeah.
And we're doing okay.
I have to pay an extra 0.05 cents per dollar
Listen
to
to
keep
me.
like 20,000 jobs in this city.
Listen to
so,
me. Tomorrow when we're mini golfing.
So you expect Caleb to say thank you every day?
Yeah,
Wait.
thank me.
Listen, when we're mini golfing tomorrow around this time or whatever we go.
Are we going
and
mini golfing?
I just announced it now.
Okay,
Nani?
cool.
Thanks for the invite.
Nani can come
Go to
too.
Oshkosh. That one's great.
No, it's like 10, 20 bucks.
It's like 8.
I can't afford that in this economy.
Yeah.
My kids are sick.
Here's the thing,
Nani.
on the amount of money you make now, what if an emergency golfing trip came up?
One emergency Grand Canyon trip to the Palms Resort in Vegas where your dad catches you having sex.
Gee, wow,
Where-
you butchered that
Where-
because there was like 10 different things.
Sometimes. Where's this fucking Nani thing from?
Nani is Japanese for what?
It just means what?
Yeah,
Nani?
that's all it means.
Nani senpai?
Nani is
Kawaii.
is
Nani
desu ka?
exactly just the word what, and that's it.
You weren't here yet, but BJ said he only knows 2 Japanese words. Oh, I know 3. Those
Hentai?
2. Oh,
No.
4.
Oh, okay.
It was a bad joke.
I know bukkake.
I'll say it.
Yeah.
Should I say it?
If you want, it's not my
What-
podcast.
What did he say? Yeah, it is your podcast.
Ah,
what
thank
did he?
you.
What did he say that made me say that though?
Who's the anime girl? Blue anime girl.
Oh yeah.
Hatsune Miku.
And you're like, I ain't saying that, and I was parodying an older, maybe perhaps racist gentleman. I said I only know 2 words in Japanese: Nagasaki and Hiroshima.
Oh my god. That's a boomer for you.
God.
God. Anyways,
You guys,
we're all,
you guys were talking about tips before, right? And that's how you got
yeah.
into this whole conversation about how
Well, yeah, it branched into this, and I'm happy.
no
it
one
did.
gets paid enough because it's true.
I think I'm.
Except for rich people.
and the
Let me
people
just-
and the people that do get paid more don't actually do real work. They just have like more
The more you get
responsibilities.
paid, the less you have
Let
to
me
do.
let me say
Alright.
this: I am grossly overpaid for what I do.
I'm underpaid.
I'm not telling you where I work. I will say this: this actually has nothing to
But
do
you're
with
not.
like.
You're really not overpaid because we both work in manufacturing. The shit that we make, one engine that I am part of assembling is like $12,000.
It requires perfection to get
yes,
finished.
exactly. It requires high quality of work and it
Very
requires
concentrated work.
the things that we're doing are producing things that sell for this much money.
Mm-hmm.
Someone working at a fucking McDonald's sells a $6 Happy Meal.
Even a dollar.
It's a little different.
I
You know
am-
what I mean? Like the amount of time
Yeah.
that it takes someone there to cook
To
cook
push
a
the
meal.
buttons on the
no,
microwave.
like the same person like flipping the burgers there to cook, the thing of burgers. They're probably making what $50 worth of food at the most at once, right?
It,
The amount of time it takes them to cook that, I made 2 engines, which would probably come to like
Hang on a
$25,000.
Yeah, but the
We're getting paid proportionately to the thing that we're producing.
If you were,
That's why there's a huge pay difference. Because say like McDonald's, the margins in McDonald's, you're going to make way less money. It's all different. You know, like if you want to make more money, just get into something that's, you know. And also, I take on more risk at Mercury because I could get laid off. You know, any manufacturing could just get laid off if they stop getting business.
On the face.
If they stop getting, you know, business. Also, I could die. Yeah, a forklift could hit me.
I can also understand people saying that like food jobs are like introductory jobs to get used to the workplace.
They really are.
They shouldn't get paid as much as people in a skilled.
And it's not like saying you don't deserve to be able to live off that job, but just understand going into this job, you're not going to make as much because the stuff you're doing is not important to society. Really, you're making fast food. It's killing people.
Well, most people in a non-management position in a food
even
industry
management
should
positions
not need to make that much money to.
Are you gonna reply to him
do
or not?
what they
I'm waiting.
They shouldn't need that much money to provide what they need for in their life at that time.
That's true too. But again, if you really think about it, is anything most of us do really that important?
Shut up.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, no.
Yeah, like you make it's cool we make engines that are expensive, but like, yes, that technically contributes to the advancement of societies. We move shit on boats, but like, at the fundamental level, we really don't need.
There's more bills that we essentially quote need to pay at this point in life rather than 20 years ago that they didn't have to pay back then. Internet, cell phone, you can't really live without those anymore. You need to be able to be contacted with your employment or anybody else in order to stay relevant.
You can easily not have internet and just pay for a phone because you can get internet on your phone.
Right, but there's not a whole lot more per se, but there's at least more bills than you have to pay now than you did before.
Like I said,
as a
cost of living has ultimately gone up. I'll just come back to it. The big reason is just because the people that represent, like the majority of people in the government, Congress, House, and shit like that, they're all old. They're all old fucks. Okay, they're all a bunch of old fucking white-haired fucks that they don't have any fucking like empathy for people that live normal lives. Okay, like they come from the boomer generation. Why don't you just work harder? That's the dumbest fucking attitude I've ever heard.
We're the hardest
people like them are the ones that are making laws and like fucking just all they're doing is trying to line their own pockets and the pockets of the people that like are making them money. Like they don't give a shit about any of us. They're just trying to suppress any like fucking dissent. It's so fucking retarded.
Sidetrack.
Oh my fucking god.
We now outnumber the baby boomers. So if we actually vote.
And that comes back to what Alex said: is we really have all the power because we do have the largest like voting population in existence now. It's too bad the fucking boomers cut fucking education spending during the last 20 years, so we're all fucking stupid.
We're not that. We're not that stupid. Where are some of us?
You fucking go walk around a fucking
we can just
pick and save.
Yeah, but compared to
go look at the people working at these fucking entry-level jobs out of high school. They're pretty fucking stupid.
Yeah, but I mean, compare them to half the people.
We have access to all the information, but people like, don't do anything.
But I mean, back to the politicians, like, back to the jobs thing. I got in this discussion with somebody I used to work with. I was like, because he was a big Republican and he's talking about it. I'm like. He's like, well, they're not as important as me, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, if a nuke went off tomorrow and everything was over, would anybody pay you to fucking install a septic tank for them? No, because your job is not that essential. Yes, it is essential in the economy and the society we live in today,
right.
But it doesn't fucking matter in the long run.
Yep. Like... Oh, if like a nuke went off or whatever?
Yeah, like I'm saying, like if we went to like, if you're a fucking farmer and you're growing food, you matter.
Are now important.
You matter. Like right now you matter, and like in the advancement of our society or our civilization, you matter. Like me, I build shit and I pour drivers and blah blah blah. But in the long run, I'm not that important.
Right, like
so, like I'm saying, like
me and Mitch, like
my
go ahead. Sorry,
I was just gonna say my contribution to society per hour, I don't think is worth that much more than somebody else, just because their job is easier.
And I'm not saying like I deserve extra money. Like I'm glad I'm making the extra money that I make because I work in manufacturing, but like. Like it's different for everybody. Like all the jobs are different. Mm-hmm. It comes down to if you want to seek out more money. Sometimes the options aren't there for people, but you can try, and you can do your best to make your life better. It's just about actually going and doing stuff. Yes, there are things that hold people back, and that sucks. But you can try and reach out to people to help. You can ask for help. Don't have pride. If you really need help with something, just ask your friends, people for help. Usually people are okay, especially our generation. We're usually a little bit more, generous than like your parents. People that like kick you out when you're fucking 18 years old.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's what happened to me, but a
don't
lot
have
of
the-
people experience that, growing up now.
We don't have the suck it up attitude that they have
Yeah, I don't.
I sometimes
for the
do.
most part. Yeah.
Most, actually,
I mean, yeah,
like
you do.
50-50.
That's okay though. Like,
I agree, though.
Everyone has their own opinions.
I agree that like if you're having like if you don't like where you're at, you should try to advance and get somewhere better. But the system should be set up so that if you can't, you can still survive.
Yeah. See, that's the good point, and that just comes back to there needs to be like regulations put in place and more like supportive laws, or
Yeah.
like supportive like programs.
Protect the
going on.
workers, man.
We fucking run the whole country. Like, I mean, like we're the what is that? What's the fucking word that I'm looking for?
United
We're the
United
infrastructure.
States.
No, we're the infrastructure. Like what would happen if you went to Pick and Save, none of the shelves were stocked, and you tried to buy food like all the places? Like if no one was working.
I want to speak to your
Exactly.
fucking manager.
Where's the manager's not there? No one's there. Everyone's not working. But no, like say like if something did happen, manufacturing would be okay job because they'd just switch over to making weapons.
Yeah. Okay, guys, we're not making engines anymore. We're making nukes.
Well, no, we'd
and
still be
drones.
making engines because they would just go on boats.
They're airplane engines now.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, pretty sure they would just shift the design
Yeah.
over and.
I mean, yeah, it's that's one of those things. Like, not to get into too broad of a political, but I like
Oh god,
people.
We're already over 2 hours.
I know. I'm just saying, like, people in general think they have like. They're so ingrained in their ideas, like, oh, fucking, who cares about those high school kids working at Pick and Save? They blah 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 blah. It's like, you don't understand that without those people, your life would fucking suck.
Yeah, like they treat like people like that like shit.
And it's people
like,
on both sides. Like, that's the Republican response to shit. And then you have the liberal response of, like, all cops are bastard, fucking disband the police force. It's
Yeah.
like, can you fucking imagine? I got an argument with somebody last night in an E3 chat room, of all things. And they're like, because everyone started screaming ACAB. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And they're like, well, yeah, we need to disband the police force. I'm like, and replace them with whom? And they're like, self-policing society.
No.
I'm like, you fucking trust your neighbors to do like what DNA test? Like, who's gonna do that?
Yeah.
If somebody gets murdered, who's gonna figure that out? Like, I don't know. Fucking Bill did it. What is wrong with people? Like, does nobody think about, like, I don't know, let's just fucking get rid of semi trucks? That would be fine, right? No. You fucking idiot. Like, what are you thinking?
Mitch, what you looking up over there? Just checking out.
I'm not.
What would happen if we got rid of semi trucks?
I'm replying to comments.
Oh, good.
I'm saying that one of my things I just says I think he was replying to saying I'm replying to one of Alex's sayings. I think he was replying to the part where I said when you said ask for help, I think he said reply to it, you can try, but it's generally not in your favor. It's like, well, you can just like you said earlier, I said the same thing. Just try your best. Like, I know it's not a good answer,
Like, just
but
fucking
like
at least
vote,
do something. Yeah, like
vote,
there are things
but
that
also
can be
try
done.
your best.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
try hard.
And honestly, like for people that like get in situations where like their life is literally crushing them, guess what? Like you can just declare bankruptcy and move to a different state and start over. Like it's
Norway.
like there's things you can do.
I know
like,
people that have done that.
You know, like there's things you can do. You know,
Even
like,
at the bare minimum, always keep your job opportunities open and keep looking for something better. Don't
Yeah,
just
like-
assume that you're stuck where you are.
like make a
Yes,
fucking Indeed.
thank you, thank you.
Make an Indeed account. Update your resume constantly, and
yeah, do
always,
your
always
fucking,
do. Yeah.
like just try hard and try your best. I know it's not good enough, but it's like
life
what
is-
can you do
like,
in the
guess what?
in the
Life is
moment?
hard and life is work. No one owes anybody anything. Yes, it's great that our government like put down like our Bill of Rights that says we have access to all these different things. Like, but guess what? You're not entitled to a job that pays a quote unquote livable wage. Like, yes, there's a minimum wage, and yes, the government hasn't like kept it up with inflation and the cost of living. But we do have a lot of rights to other things in this country, and we have a better shot here than most other places that would be, giving us a shot for a real life. All right, there's a couple other countries where. It's maybe a little bit better because they have like free healthcare and shit. But guess what? You don't fucking live there. You're not going to learn the language because you're too lazy. And if you are, then fucking go there and live there because I'm sure it'll be better for you. Okay, like sure, I would love to go live in like Canada or like what is the other
Sweden.
one? Sweden. Like that'd be cool.
Norway.
I'm not going to fucking learn the language. I'm too old. My brain can't wrap around
Dark
it anymore.
Canadian
okay?
language.
Here, let him,
Canada, whatever.
finish. Let him finish.
But yeah, like that. Sure, like I'm not gonna do that. Like I'm trying to work here and do it. Like I like where I live. I like the people that are in my general region area. So like I don't know. sure, I've had better off than some people and haven't had the hard situations, but, you know, I've lived my life in a careful way, fiscally relatively responsible way. I do have debt, but I've been able to manage it. And, you know, not everyone's in the same situation, but I feel like if I can, you know, I clawed myself out of debt over the last couple of years, and people can do that shit, you know? Wages are going up. McDonald's starts at like fucking $9.50 now.
Mm-hmm.
That's not nothing. Go work at McDonald's.
Can I tell you what I started at quick?
Yeah.
7.
I'll say, yeah, 7. I know people who used to work fucking. I remember seeing $5 as like, you know, $5.50 or whatever it is back in the day. That was way before I was starting to work. But like, I remember seeing that shit on like advertisements. Like, holy
I
fuck.
started at like 8.
The less time that you spend looking for jobs, the more jobs that fit your criteria are going to slip through your fingers.
Yeah,
That
always
could
be
better your situation.
always be looking.
Always be closing. ABC.
I know it's difficult that when you are having a hardship that you feel stuck in what you're in, and the more that you keep assuming that you're going to be stuck for a long time, the more difficult it's going to be to change that situation. There's always more than one way out of where you are. You just have to look for it.
Also, there's nothing wrong with working a shitty job.
Exactly. Like,
As long as it's temporary.
No, even like for the rest of your life, work the shitty job, make good money. I'm saying like that makes good money.
If it's a
like,
shit, yeah.
listen, fucking yeah. Sometimes working construction sucks. Being a fucking plumber sucks. Like do whatever. But do that, make good money, and then on the fucking weekends, do the shit you want to do.
Take what
You'll
you
be like,
can out of
that's
it.
better to do something that you don't necessarily like, but you can find value in and get something out of it than fucking working.
I know most of the people that watch this are, you know, more our age and shit, don't have this opportunity. But man, the advice that I would give the younger people is absolutely do not go to four-year college. Go to a trade college
Yep.
for 2 years, learn a skill, and go into those
Be a
jobs.
fucking
And then
welder.
once you're into one of those jobs, then if you want to pursue a different higher education for a different type of job like that, then do it.
Unless you have a
Make sure
degree.
you're set up first in a nice, high, you know, like, because if you're in a trade job, you're making $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year.
Yeah.
You're
Or
gonna be
just
set.
fucking
Then you can just fucking pay for your college out of pocket.
Unless
Yeah.
you have a 4-year degree that specializes in getting you a job right out of the gate in your
Right.
field, that college degree is going to lump you in with the other 60% of people
And
that
it's-
have done the same thing.
And
Or you
it'll-
wanna be like
it'll
a doctor.
essentially be worth. Yeah, if you can. Yeah, it's like otherwise. Yeah, if you have like the intelligence to take the tests correctly for like being a lawyer, a doctor, you know, like all those clerical things. Man, be a fucking accountant. The world needs more of those. Honestly, like that's one of the best jobs you could ever fucking get.
So
If Kevin can do it,
we
so can you.
are at 2:15. Caleb had some really good points at the end. I thought we all had some really good points in this last
I
half
also
hour.
want to add one more thing to the tipping thing.
Yeah.
I tip based on how many times you fill my fucking drink.
That's the.
I'm
I
gonna
always
tip
said
you
that's
either
like
way.
a great.
I'm gonna tip you either
of-
way, but like it's gonna go from a 10% tip to like a 30% tip if you fill my drink a lot.
All right, so
Tip on how high you are.
I'm gonna go around the thing. You get 60
Kidding.
seconds each to say one last thing. If you go over the 60 seconds, Caleb is
You're
gonna
never coming
cut
back
you
on the
fucking
show.
out. Well, that'd be really awkward if you have to sit out there for the rest of the fucking
We'll just
year.
be disappointed in you.
I'll just take my walls and get the fuck out of here.
Dude, yeah, have fun moving them out of here.
I'll take them back apart.
Last thing, I'm gonna read this and use this as my 60 seconds. I'll even start the stopwatch for myself.
God. It's gonna be some fucking communist manifesto.
You're goddamn right.
I'm gonna grab a water.
I think
for you.
No. What? You're gonna bail during my
I can
60
hear you
seconds?
from out there. You.
I'm gonna whisper, so you have to ask me to repeat it.
I'll just watch the podcast later and criticize myself, and then listen to you.
You're not on a mic, you can't talk.
Go ahead, Mitch.
No, I'm waiting for him to come back.
Tell me the big secret
It's
you were
not a-
talking about before.
You're goddamn right. You're gonna hear this secret before the end of the episode. I have to. It's the final
Sweet.
thing. You better have the fucking camera on you too, because you're gonna shit your pants.
Oh boy.
Dude, I'm
So-
Did you get a big band to come record with me?
it's nothing.
Something around that
Okay,
area.
cool.
Yeah.
It's nothing you're actually gonna like.
The problem is,
That's
I'm
fair.
going to read Alex Wahlberg's comment out loud, and I'm going to use that as my 60 seconds. And go.
I'm scared.
Shush. It's not a communist manifesto. Alex Wahlberg says, the problem is when you can't afford to do what you want to do on the weekend because you barely keep your head above water. That's when you're just a wage slave who lives to work instead of working to live. I will respond to that by saying I work third shift at a factory, and I'm not saying this is for everybody, but this is how my life is. And I managed to make enough to also pay rent on this studio. This studio itself is how much a month? Just base rent, no extra?
$600.
$600. So I pay $200 plus a little bit for internet. And I'm making enough to be able to do this. Also, I'm not doing this on the internet. I'm doing this during the work week. On the weekends, I do even less. What I'm saying is you can do it. You just got to grind at it. Trust me. Just do your best. Vote. And things will get better.
And get roommates to help decrease the amount you need to spend on housing, because that's one of the biggest problems is people get stuck in a cycle.
60 seconds.
Okay, this will be mine. People get stuck in a thing of, oh, I can barely pay my bills. But when you can reduce your housing costs, a lot of that will end up going down. You'll end up with this free amount of money, or not free, but like you'll have some open cap where you can start paying off debt or start saving money.
Right.
Just got to work with what you given. That's very good. Sorry. Nate, go ahead.
Mine's really easy. Our purpose in life is not just to work to pay bills. So there's always opportunities out there, and it's difficult to find nowadays, but there'll always be a time where you'll be able to find something that fits to what you want to accomplish in your life, whether it's to pay off debt, to start going to school, or do whatever. Don't give up hope. It might look hopeless at the time that you're looking, but it will change.
You never know what your life's going to look like 5 years from now.
It will change. And that's it.
Is it my turn?
Almost.
Okay, I'm gonna wait until 20.
And go.
Okay, wait, hold on, right now.
Nope.
Wasting time.
So the
3 seconds
my
in.
whole point was that we need to end like the stigma around like working like normal or not normal, but hard jobs that people think would suck, like being a fucking ditch digger like me. I'm just saying, like, if you work a job that you don't necessarily love during the week, but it's enough to get you like comfortable. Like I fucking make decent good money. I'm like you said, I'm helping rent the studio. I'm fucking buying all this fucking lumber and shit, doing a bunch of stuff. I got plenty of money. I don't necessarily like my job, but it's enough to make me happy in my free time. So like find something that maybe it's not your fucking dream job of being a goddamn like the dude who dusts the sand off bikini models like on the fucking beach. Like everybody's
that
dream
if you
job.
tried.
I could, but I'm doing something that makes me money.
5 seconds.
I can find joy in, and it gives me something to survive on.
I'm using the rest
Fucking
of my time
A.
that I saved.
You didn't save it. You passed. You passed the bank over. Hurry up.
You got
Make sure that the time that you spend at work is equal to the amount of time that you can spend doing things that you enjoy outside of the work.
He's just saying, make sure you're not spending more time at work than you are.
No, I'm saying
Unless you wanna
make
work
sure,
overtime.
make sure that even if you don't enjoy your job, make sure that the time that you
Beth,
spend at work
you
is
joined
enough
late.
to make sure that you can spend
that
the
way.
exact amount of time,
Yeah.
or the same amount of time outside of work doing things that you do enjoy. So
God,
if
you
hate-
went.
hate
You're
work-
like at 5 minutes, dude. Get the fuck out of here.
God, never coming back.
It's a good point. And
Turn in your badge and
you're
come.
done.
Mike's
All
I
right.
have my uniform on. I don't have
Anyways, thank you very much for staying late with us, everybody. Really appreciate that today's theme was jobs. I'm going to come up with a theme next week. I'm going to have 2 guests next week. Hopefully the Tuesday guest pans out because I'm having dental surgery on Tuesday, but I'm going to come in with a numb mouth. So we're going to see how that goes.
Put that to the test.
John Kepsel, I've had him on before.
Hey.
He's going to be in, and he'll be talking about his stuff. He just got engaged, so we're going to hear about that. Yay. And on Thursday, our guest is going to be, get the camera on your fucking face,
Cameras up.
Danielle.
Ooh.
Cameras rise up.
Interesting.
Danielle will be on the episode on Thursday. We might have a guest spot on there. We might just do it like we did last time. We might just have a themed discussion.
I like that.
Who knows? 4 guys, 1 woman. Let's see what happens.
Workers rise up.
Cameras.